And good evening or otherwise time-appropriate greetings to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Speed Gaming 4, and welcome to this evening's Super Metroid: A Link to the Past Combo Randomizer Monday Nightly Weekly Race. We have a good one for you tonight, folks. It's normal logic tonight, and on stream we're going to show you all Redress and Neaterific. I am Captain MD13. I'm joined tonight by Cheesinator. How you doing, Cheese?
I'm great tonight, thank you.
So yes, we have a grand total of about 11 entrants on our list for this race tonight. So there is a lot of both off-screen and on-screen entertainment for you folks. And there is going to be quite the shenanigans in normal logic seeds. Now, because this is normal logic, we mainly refer that to Super Metroid. Metroid logic will not expect you to do anything fancy in the way of Suitless Meridia, Hell Runs through Ice Beam or Crocomire, and stuff of that nature.
In addition to that, these logic sets use no minor or major glitches in determining what's accessible. Everything should be able to be done as was intended in the original game. However, minor glitches are allowable, major glitches are not. So for example, out of bounds is against the rules set.
Indeed. Now, I have a question in chat saying, does the combo rando include two bows? The answer to that is no. The Link to the Past randomizer side of the logic is running off version 29, which means that the bow and silver arrows are both separate items. So bows are not progressive. Bomb and arrow capacity upgrades are in the pool, and hint tiles are not available.
Yes, the development branches have forked since V29, and SMZ3 is now an independently developed randomizer, which will not necessarily bring in new changes from Link to the Past.
Now, Cheese, yesterday was quite a show with a hard 2v2 multi-world and quite some interesting locations for the other players' items. What are you hoping to see for tonight's race?
Well, normal logic does like to kind of give you the runaround sometimes. It will place items very far apart, simply because there's so little territory open in Super Metroid for them to put things out. So I'd just like to see the runners have to crisscross the map and make tough decisions about travel.
No doubt there will be a complex, we will be putting together the complex logic profile that is this seed. Certainly last Monday's race was nothing to, was quite the show, I guess, for lack of better words, but it looks like we are off. Now I'm sorry, you first.
Oh, I was just going to note that there will be a little bit of lag at first as we make sure that the two runners are in sync and that their timers match to keep the entertainment as streamlined as possible.
Indeed, it will. And we are starting with both of our runners going straight to A Link to the Past. Now, there was only one item in Super Metroid that was perfectly in logic at the start, and that was the Vanilla Morph Ball. But it looks like they're going to A Link to the Past, and that is the Book of Medora on the Lake Hylia Island.
With super missiles in Link's house, important early progression. Sometimes it comes late, but that'll cover you both for missile locked and super missile locked doors and gates.
Indeed. We get a map in the Sanctuary, and Neaterific gives us an early map check. It is 3 blue crystals in the Light World.
That's easy for now. We'll have a much harder Dark World map check.
Yeah, there'll be 5 unique things to look out for sure.
We got a question in chat. Who are the other runners? There are 9 off-stream runners in addition to these two. However, to list them all out would be kind of a mouthful. So needless to say, there's some very talented runners playing tonight.
Yes, you can visit the SRL website and go to the races page and find the tonight's SMZ3 race to get the participant list and see other people participating off camera. So
to start the game off, we've got the Houlihan glitch going on the left. So Raiders is picking up some extra cash by taking advantage of a room programmed into the original game to handle when Link falls out of bounds, while Neaterific opened by going to the uncle and getting his first bottle.
First bottle and a heart container, so that is the Uncle's safeties right there. Now, the nice thing about the early Houlihan is that gives you guaranteed bomb money in the event that you have to dive through Kakariko without any explosives. However, it would appear that Alredris is electing to farm the 50-50 chance from the two bushes in front of the Haunted Grove, although it looks like our bush crabs are doing us a favor and giving us bombs anyway.
Yeah, there's bombs aplenty already. Of course, you can also sometimes find them as tree poles. Not the case for Nidorific so far. He's found rupees and hearts on them.
We've got missiles on the race game so far, and with that other bush crab, Nidorific is going to have a near full bomb supply checking out Lumberjack.
Ooh.
Oh no.
So there's a glove behind Agahnim, and see, the gloves are an important part of Dark World access. You usually need either two of them or one and a hammer. So depending on the position of the other glove, we could already be looking at an early Aga seed, and we definitely will see it Aga at some point because you need two gloves to win the game.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way to bypass Aga because of for that Lumberjack item.
And I know for a fact Nidorific hates doing Agahnim, but when it's previewed and it's forced like that, it's a much different story than having to make a bet on Aga Dark World Access versus some other form.
Yeah, no way around it this time around. Nidorific finding quite a number of super missiles in the Lost Woods, it would appear. As Redris is buying bombs and getting some sticks out of the chicken hut.
Yeah, he's using his bombs very efficiently there, though, hey, he did just get capacity that would have let him go over, but he went to the chicken hut first to make sure he got 10 full bombs from his purchase at the shop. And he also took the south route to Kakariko because that starts you at the bomb shop, so you can go there before you walk up and hit the Blind's hut and the well.
To answer question, chat, there has been a missile pickup at the. There is a missile at the race game, and there is one in the library. Meanwhile, the bottle vendor giving us a perfect 1-to-1 return. And we got a lot of items popping up here as we got the red meringue, a bottle with a bee, and some extra rupees in the well, while Blind's Hut gives us Spazer and the gave us something else interesting, and
Yeah,
Blue Mail.
Yep. So both runners have a bottle now, despite coming from different directions, and they can each make their sick kid check conveniently right at the beginning of the game.
And it's just another piece of heart.
So far, we haven't found much with any logical implications for further exploration. Just some sort of nice-to-haves things that help Samus and Link navigate the world. Spazer's a little bit stronger than your default beam. Red Boomerang will help navigate South Shore and escape.
Yeah, another nice thing about the red boomerang is that generates a lot of lag on the screen sometimes, which, with a lot of equipment on hand, can allow you to perform, Nidorific taking advantage of that good beat to get an extra 100 rupees on top of the free trade from the bottle vendor. But yeah, going back on the magical boomerang for a second here, the magical boomerang can be a component of the splash deletion glitch that was semi-recently discovered, which may allow players to get the item on Zora Ledge without the flippers.
Oh, okay. That's something I hadn't heard about yet, and I wouldn't have known if it was even legal in this rule set.
It is. It's considered, I think, a minor glitch in this case.
Cool.
Basically, how it works is you overload the screen with too many sprites so that the splash animation does not play when you hit the water, and that is apparently when the game checks to see if you have flippers or not.
Interesting.
And if the splash doesn't play, you get a fake flipper.
Yeah, I guess that's the way it works when you do the ones that scroll the screen immediately. So chat points out, and we're about to see. Ooh, okay. So Alraiders is not routing an Aga Lumberjack tree check, which is fine. but that is the closest he'll probably be for a while to get that information. Typically, I don't go there early either. I like to wait until I have boots because the item logically requires boots. So if I don't have them, I'm probably not going to think about checking it. So hopefully the boots come early, and then you can route from Bonk Rocks up to the Lumberjack tree.
Indeed, yeah, because yeah, with boots are going to be your. I mean, we're going to be having to find them anyway, since we need. Eventually, we still need Titansmiths one way or another. So one way or another, we're finding Pegasus boots. It just depends on whether or not that glove is intended to be our tier 1 or our tier 2.
Alright, so Nidorific's making the first play down to the dam and probably hooking right to South Shore after this. Will Alraidris double up Uncle with Escape? I would like to think that having a boomerang in hand means this is a pretty straightforward call. And indeed, he's going to be heading over into the palace.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense, and since you've seen the map already, it can. Most of the items also, it should be noted, red mail in the dam. So we already have maximum link to the past defense 10 minutes in.
Yep, for enemies that deal a variable amount of damage, blue mail halves their damage, and then red mail, I believe, halves it again, but there are also a lot of enemies that have fixed, say, 1 heart per hit damage, like spikes.
Indeed. Yeah, definitely want to have a mail upgrade before Ganon. You do not want to take an 8 heart hit due to a Ganon hug. First
So
item.
I was going to say good bomb placement there by Alraidris to get those blue guards. They can be a little finicky, and you need to bomb them twice with a limited amount of bombs in your inventory. You can use the boomerang, though, to stun them and make the kill guaranteed. He seems to know what he's doing, though.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Nidorific going to Mini Moldorm Cave with a five items up for grabs here. Unfortunately, having to take a bomb to the face. Otherwise, the Moldorms being fairly cooperative with a 4-for-4 takedown. Mini Moldorm Cave. Oh my. Not much in Mini Moldorm Cave, but except for that first glove. That's interesting. So we could end up getting Dark World access without we could end up getting Dark World access before needing those Titans, before having to do Aga.
Yeah, that would be a refreshing way to make the seed a little bit nicer to the runners, make them just say, okay, well, I'll go explore, then I'll find my boots, then I'll come back to Aga when I'm ready, and not have to do it early, say with just a fighter's sword.
Indeed. And again, Nidorific already knows that there is a, Alregius taking very good advantage of that B to just wipe out the ball and chain guard with no difficulty. Only gets a big 20 for it, though.
So Alraidris, Ice Beam Cave. We actually have a channel in our Discord for this SMZ3 called Ice Beam Cave, and we had a sort of a French vanilla ice item tonight.
Very appropriate indeed.
What I was going to say is Alraidris used up a bunch of bombs that didn't land on his target when he was in the escape, so not only is he going back to buy more bombs, but he wouldn't have been able to, for example, reset and then pass through the Dark Cross Room and get to the other side potentially, because he had nothing to kill enemies or open the door on the other side with. But
Yeah.
Nidorific, having a glove, can logically just go back into the back of escape anyways.
Indeed he can, and I believe our key to Dark Cross is still missing in action, so that could either be in Dark Cross itself or in the back of Escape. Nidorific will most likely be the first to tell us this.
Yeah, and it's of note, we're going to expect a pretty early lamp, I think, this seed, because of Agahnim requiring a lamp to navigate his tower. That will give us logical access to the Dark Cross Room once we get it. There is no fire rod logic in this version of the combo randomizer as far as dark rooms go.
Yeah, not this time, unfortunately, and indeed Nidorific will be making that play to back of Escape. Now, going back onto the knowledge for a second here. Nidorific knows his other glove is on Lumberjack, while Outrageous has not figured that out. So, my concern for Outrageous is that it might take him a little while longer to check Lumberjack Ledge if things like Hammer or Moonpearl show up relatively early.
Ooh, the key self-locked in Dark Cross. We don't even need to go there.
Ooh, that is definitely good news. Nidorific, on the other hand, has not done the Front of Escape, but will most likely do so on his at some point or another, and realize that the key is locked in Dark Cross.
Yep. Good little bomb farm there, by the way. There's a 50-50 bomb right outside of Link's house if you have Glove, and Nidorific can take this right over to this house roulette, which just needs one bomb to open up 3 chests.
Yeah, another fairly high-density, short time sink to go check these items and get our green pendant intel, since all 3 of our pendants are still currently missing in action. Oh, green pendant Thieves Town.
Ooh. Oh, wow. So Hospital's Closet is loaded for starters, but we also have to maybe do some icky things to progress beyond this point.
Yeah, Speed Booster as your only noticeable Super Metroid item, that's a questionable one, because it opens up a couple checks, but not a lot that are close together, is the problem. It should also be noted that we did find Grappling Beam and Zora money in the back of Escape.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely loaded. What strikes me here is the combination Speed Booster, Grapple Beam, and Ice Beam. They're all sort of things that help Link get a more height. So not Link, Samus get more height, get across chasms, whatever. But they are also kind of redundant with each other. So now we have more than one way to get into Direct Ship, more than one way to get the Blueprint Ceiling item. The question will be, where's the Morph Ball to sort of enable all that?
Yeah, Morph Ball is going to be our key item, because yeah, we can't get to Wreck Ship without the ability to use Power Bombs, and I don't believe we have seen a Power Bomb pack to this point. It's been mostly Super Missiles.
Yeah, Speed Booster is our first way to break any type of blocks. Cool Papa in chat, who's also our tracker tonight, I believe. Speed Booster, sorry. Alpha PB's Morph Ball is possible if we get logical Death Mountain access. We would need the flute or a lamp to add to this glove first. And
Yeah,
also, well, Ice Beam lets us up Red Tower, but you need like vertical climb through Red Tower.
Yeah, we're starting to run out of a Link to the Past checks here. I believe we've seen, I want to say it was one item Eastern, and that was that big 20.
Now, both runners, it might be because of the limited checks, as you're talking about, are making the early Eastern play. This is Crystal Eastern, so they're guaranteed having to come back here again unless they find the bow, which, it's probably a sound early play, especially when you expect Aga, so you kind of need to drain every last possibility before, committing to, say, an Agahnim play. But there are a couple other places they could have gone first.
Yeah, right now we're also down to, I believe that's now 2 items in Eastern. I think we're down to 1 lamp-locked item in Eastern, at the very least. Zora and Agina's Cave. So yeah, we're running out of checks real quick here.
All right, so the runners are crisscrossing each other's paths up to this point. We'll see Eastern again. We'll see the escape sequence again. Going into Super Metroid, there are 2 logically accessible items down in Blue Brinstar, thanks to our combo Ice Beam Speed Booster. There's 1 at Terminator and Quateria, and then a couple down in Green and Pink Brinstar. So that's probably the direction you'll see people go, is to the left of Samus's ship once they do a save and quit and reset.
Yeah, and one thing I actually have to correct myself. We actually have seen all 3 items in the Eastern. Turns out that it's either a map or compass in the Vanilla Big Key chest and on Armos Knights at this point. So that means the only thing our runners will be coming back to Eastern for is that crystal.
It's also worth Just mentioning we have one sword so far, so that is logical progression towards completing Agahnim. We need either one more sword or a cape in addition to a lamp to be able to get from bottom to top in the tower.
It would be quite the troll if the combination of those two required remaining items were on Agina and Zora, respectively.
It would also be funny if you were supposed to do Moon Pearl-less Agahnim to get the boots to get your second glove or something like that. Like there are weird things that can happen.
Oh, yeah. All right, Alredra's about to get that Zora money and grapple beam out of the back of Escape. And the game has been fairly generous with the rupee payouts this time around, for sure.
Question in chat about the E-Tank and Blue Brinstar. In normal logic, you are expected to have some kind of vertical help to get there. There are a lot of different things: high jump, morph ball bombs, speed booster, ice beam, etc. Today we have both ice beam and speed booster. Damage boosting is not part of the normal logic set. Oh wow, we really are getting an Agahnim check from both runners, and given that they're making this type of isolated check, we'll probably see them do Zora as well. Both are sitting on comfortably over 500 rupees. But with Speed Booster and all those items in Super Metroid already on the table, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Nidourific push that.
It might be just Nidourific having that information ahead of time that, okay, I've got to go get this other glove anyway. I might as well see if I can find any pieces of the puzzle. And that is a sword at the desert ledge, which we know where one way to get into desert is, and it is mirror locked.
Yeah, the book is on the island. We need Dark World access and flippers and mirrors, so it's quite a ways away. And it can't be, it has to be book accessed because you need both gloves and then mirror to get the ledge if you Ooh, whoa, okay.
Well, now, well, the other way in, if you do not have, if you don't want to get Titan's Mitts and Mirror, is that you would need to get, I believe it's Varia and Gravity Suit, and or some access, logical access to Lower Norfair, and take the cross game portal at the Gold Terizo statue, at the Screw Attack statue.
Yeah, for sure. And so Nidourific got the Morph Ball, but has not reset, is for some reason doing this. This is to go to Zora, and it's fine. It's just that, like, now that you've got Morph Ball and Speed Booster, you've got 50 items or something you can go get in Super Metroid. So you don't necessarily need to do this check now, but maybe he wants to not get, like, destroyed by a hammer on Zora, which just happened to someone recently.
Oh, please don't remind me of that seed last week. Because yeah, last week there was Hammer on Zora, and I think it was actually Solsky that had that was very heavily debated by that. Nothing of note at the Bomb Terizo.
Chat does point out there's some things we don't have that would be nice to have before resetting into Super Metroids. For example, power bombs, and maybe Zora has your first power bomb. But between Speed Booster and Morph Ball, you can get to a lot of spots in Super Metroid to find your first Morph Ball bombs or power bombs. It just seems like per time spent, these checks are going to be more efficient than just a Zora.
Yeah, and Elredris with that shortage of energy and no power bombs can't even do Gauntlet yet. Yeah, this is a really peculiar peculiar Super Metroid situation our runners are getting themselves into.
I mean, I would treat it like, think about you still only have the speed booster, and you're going in to do what those speed booster lock checks were. You just happen to not soft lock if you, like, end up in a two tile high space. So for now, we're still just following that speed booster, and we won't soft lock.
Indeed, and unfortunately, Nitorific got probably one of the biggest scams possible. Those 500 rupees only gave him the single arrow of destiny. But it looks like Nitorific is actually going to break logic even further here and sequence break Death Mountain. Fascinating play here.
Yeah, he's really determined not to go into Super Metroid with what we've been given. He's trying very hard to break the progression. This could be an okay play if he gets an out of logic power bomb, but I'm really expecting something to turn up in the half a dozen checks that we're going to see here from. In fact, Outrageous without power bombs, you can get. Oh well, there you go.
You were
You can get
saying?
all the way down to the lower right side of the Super Metroid map. All you need is to be able to roll into a ball and use super missiles. So it's not like your path would be blocked if you came in here without them.
Yeah, but at least one power bomb pack will give you some form of explosive, and the old man giving us a nice bottle of blue goo there for our trouble. That's a pretty good safety. Early supers, meanwhile, giving us our other boomerang.
Now we can dual wield, right?
I wish. People show us that.
So if we don't pick up another power bomb pack, that's going to have to mean that Outrageous, for example, is forced to route differently. If he wants to do the Blue Bryn Star checks, he probably wants another pack of power bombs first.
Yeah, ideally you want 10, but just to go off on what we have seen, Nitorific finding Plasma Beam at Mirror Locked on the top of Spectacle Rock, while Outrageous finds the Silver Arrows before the Edikun Pit.
Yeah, we are loaded on Link to the Past safeties already. We've got bottles, silvers, red mail. Also, we need Outrageous to slow down here, make sure he farms energy and kills these not side hoppers, these, I don't know, whatever, suction hoppers before he dies down here. There's a safety save you can take, but he opted not to.
Yeah, he has a Nope tank as well, which I want to say was right before the, what was actually above the Edikun drop down itself, right
Yeah,
before the silvers, but
he hasn't had time to fill it up yet.
right. All right, so Nitorific is going to show us our high jump area checks here, as well as Croc Escape, which appears to just be 5 missiles.
To answer chat, the trip up Death Mountain I don't think is bad. You're getting a save point, and that's going to help you route into Death Mountain very efficiently later. That said, Nitorific might be... Oh, he already has power bombs too. Where'd he get his?
He got his from inside Spectacle Rock.
Oh, wow, okay. In that case, this is completely fine. We've got both runners attacking the seed from different directions, but Nitorific actually has an advantage because he's not orphaning a bunch of power bomb locked locations right now. He can choose to do Bryn Loop later after finding another pack.
Yeah, interesting scenario, certainly, for, again, the lack of power bombs we've seen so far this seed definitely throwing our runners for a bit of a loop. And you can see we've already got 25 super missiles, so we have a lot of heavy weaponry, but we still having more power bombs would definitely help. Now, granted, we have ice beams, so we don't need the 15 power bombs for Torian. And ooh, Outrageous's health was too low to finish up that Shine Spark.
Yeah, he has to reset here. I don't think there's an energy... Oh, actually, is it a save station or an energy refill? If it's an energy refill, we're fine. Right?
It
Or
is
not
an
even,
energy
because he doesn't
refill.
have enough E-tanks. Yeah, no, he needs to hard reset.
Unless he can use his reserve. Oh, well, never mind.
No, he already used... He had 13 energy in reserve and already used it. No, unfortunately, he made kind of a bit of a careless mistake. When you're transitioning through that that hallway in Pink Brinstar, you need to be very careful not to Shine Spark run across the floor because you fall down. And then in this case, he didn't even have the energy necessary to get back up.
Yeah, really unfortunate. So that is gonna set Alredris back his silver arrows at the very least.
Yeah, he needs to recollect power bombs, silver arrows, and the reserve tank. So pretty much do the same locations he already did. But he knows a couple things he can skip. Having trouble getting this short charge going. This is not the logical requirement here. This short charge is just easier generally. Normal logic can expect you to get a charge from the right side of this mound and then come in and do a Shine Spark.
I see. Yeah, again, looking very good in terms of of missiles overall so far. We've already almost got enough missiles to take on Ridley. In fact, I think we actually have close to enough regular missiles to regular and supers combined to take on Ridley.
Yep, we definitely got flooded with ammo early. That helps a lot. Also, if you're like Raiders and don't have the plasma beam, missiles are a really efficient way to kill enemies in the early and middle game.
Yeah, and I think for now our runners will be happy they have Spazer at the very least, since Plasma Beam is mirror locked, and given that I would doubt at this point, given we know about a glove on Aga Tower and the fact that yeah, given the glove is on Lumberjack, that I would wager that it might be a while before runners see the mirror for that book. So I would wager they're going to probably be stuck on Spazer for quite some time.
But only Outriders, since the... Oh, wait, never mind. The plasma was on Spec Rock, not in Spec Rock.
Yeah,
That's why I got confused earlier. I thought
yeah.
Nito got the plasma out of Spec Rock, and then I was confused why he also had a power bomb.
No, the power bombs were inside Spectacle Rock, yeah.
I find it funny that the two of them were both struggling to do tricks like in the geographically same spot at the same time.
Yeah.
Nito was forcing what do you call it? The escape from Alcatraz trick, which he did not need to do. And Raiders was just having trouble with a one-tap short charge.
With those 10 power bombs in play, and after performing a recharge of the ship here, I would not be surprised to see Nidorific go to Gauntlet next. Although that is a very gutsy play, considering you are 0 tank and suitless.
Yeah, if he haven't had even just one tank, I would feel more confident about this play. He has to not fall in the lava at all, because if you fall in for like a full second, I think that's almost enough to kill you, if not take out like 75 of your health.
Yeah, it's going to have to... At the very least, though, a death here is not going to be painful at all.
Yeah, he's dipped his toes in it and he's already dead.
Yep, your case being proven right at the forefront here.
So he did just save, which means he saved that pack of power bombs. He got that 230 missiles.
Yeah, he only lost about maybe 2 minutes tops. So that's
not even like 30 seconds or something from entering Gauntlet to the reset.
Yeah, that's a fairly inconsequential death, all things considering.
That being said, like it seems like he's kind of forcing some of these plays where he's struggling with the SM movement rather than just sort of taking the easy road. He could go right here and go down Red Tower, or he could just start his Bryn Loop, check back of Gauntlet, and worry about the middle item later.
Now, is there enough energy with only one tank to Shine Spark across the Criteria Powerbomb ledge to get to this to the beginning of Gauntlet, or to at least open the first blocks, or is that not enough power?
Yeah, I think you need at least one energy tank.
Oh my.
So he's already down to 32 energy. He cannot fall in again.
He almost he almost went too far on the platform.
Outrageous here, not... we got a really lucky power bomb drop. I was about to say, you can go left to farm power bombs from the fire fleas in the other room to make sure that you go into Pink Bryn stocked up to max, but got a lucky drop there.
Yeah, we've got a few items we can check here in Pink Bryn Star, starting with... We'll see in a second here. Another heart container. Yeah, our Link to the Past defense is looking phenomenal right now.
Yeah, it's funny how much more vulnerable we are in Super Metroid than in Link to the Past. With more punishing deaths in Super Metroid because of the way the save system works.
Absolutely.
Oh, and
Ooh.
Nito just locked him out. Oh, he locked himself
Oh
out of the
no! And there's the frustration missiles.
Well, that aside, we know where our Moon Pearl is, so we're getting that Dark World access piece together. We just need a second sword or a lamp, and I don't think it's going to be the sword on the desert ledge, as we talked about earlier. You need way too much to get that.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you on that one. Outrageous did find at Mission Impossible, however, our Quake medallion, one of possibly one of three medallions we might end up using to get to Total Rocker Meyer. We do know our other two pendants. We do know one pendant, I should say, and that is Thieves Town. The other two are still missing.
Yeah, sometimes. So there's Quake, there's Ether, and Bombos, and there are two dungeons which have hard locks with medallions in front of them. Sometimes you get those cheeky 3 medallion seeds where it's 1 Ether, 1 Quake, and then you have to get into Ice Palace with Bombos to get your Fire Rod.
Yeah, that's one of those get the entire tracker lit up type seeds. Looks like Nidorific is demonstrating some perseverance here and is trying again through Gauntlet for that Moon Pearl.
It's definitely a good prize. I mean, I can see why he wants it, but it doesn't enable his Dark World access right now, so he could prioritize just coming back for this thing he knows about after having more energy and clearing to find the rest of whatever is needed to do Aga.
Well, he's certainly scaring folks enough for sure by getting grabbed there for a split second right before the acid rose up. Meanwhile, Regis only finding another big 20 in Green Hill Zone. I don't think rupees are going to be of any significant concern to our runners beyond this point, especially for Nidorific since he got scammed already by Zora.
Yeah, one thing Nito could have done, and this depends on how much you want to conserve your rupees. He spent 500 of about 600 on Zora. He could have hard reset right from there to Super Metroid, but he ended up making the play up Death Mountain, so he didn't want to hard reset.
And it looks like Nidorific has made it across once again. It needs to be very careful to not get stuck on the left side again. And Redris's next stop is Red Tower, it would seem.
Yeah, so Alredris is doing sort of the halvesies Bryn loop, again, because of those power bomb counts. He can, from the ship later on, he can go down Old Torian and then come back up Red Tower after doing Blue Brain, so it's still pretty efficient if he wants to route it in later.
And
Well,
it
you got
looks
two simultaneous elevators, but going to very different places.
Yeah, it looks like Alredris is going to put off Kraid for a little bit here.
That's because of the risk of soft lock, I guess. He'd be going in, using his first power bomb to get in, wouldn't be able to scout the item in the center, and then would be relying on power bomb drops from Kraid or a power bomb farm off the pipe outside of Kraid, which he's already soft locked once. I think he's maybe risk averse of soft locking again.
Fair enough. To answer question, Chad, Terminator was not anything significant. I want to say it was either missiles or super missiles.
To farm power bombs from here, Alradris can just go to the right. I think that's what he's going to end up doing. There's a hallway full of enemies that are pretty much guaranteed power bomb drop. The same kind of enemies that Nidorific just killed.
Yeah, now at this point, Nidorific has actually picked up another pack of power bombs, so Nidorific is riding pretty safe on power bombs at this point.
Yeah, 15 total, super comfortable. He can farm up to max, and with the addition of Speed Booster, that means if he wants to go through Blue Brinstar, he can use Speed Booster to get up to Billy May's room, so that saves another power bomb.
And cool Papa Bell actually providing us some insight here on Nidorific's play a bit more. With the Morph Ball, Death Mountain actually does become, not the old man, but Death Mountain itself does become a logical play courtesy of the Norfair Business Center.
That's right. Yeah, I think at the time he was making that route, I hadn't remembered that you can get all the way through without power bombs from top to bottom in Super Metroid.
All right, with those extra with those 5 power bombs in tow, Redress will now head towards Kraid's lair.
So
Nidorific.
Outrageous is trying to do this jump here, but he's got Speed Booster turned on and it's killing his jump height. Yeah, he needs to either turn that off or jump up from the floor, or use super missiles to blow out more of the blocks from the left. And he's up.
All right, Nidorific getting that Quake medallion. And let's have a quick peek and see what is in Kraid's lair. Even more supers.
Yeah, we are over halfway to game-winning ammo at this point, which is kind of funny. We're only, what, 38 minutes into the seed?
Yeah, I've seen a seed. I think it was actually the Sunday, not yesterday, but this last Sunday seed, where for whatever reason we were getting like super missiles every other check. Oh my goodness! Nidorific finally found an energy tank.
38 minutes, first energy tank.
To answer question, chat, I do not believe Wavegate has been checked yet at this time.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Now, you can open Wavegate, Powerbomb door, and the Terminator, or what is it called? The Mission Impossible, there we go. The Mission Impossible room with power bombs simultaneously to save one, whereas like what Nidorific just checked there, the Spore Spawn Super Missiles requires a power bomb in and out.
And Nidorific wasting no time on the Wavegate, getting it first try.
First try every time for some power bombs. Wow, that would have been really useful for Outrageous, who, by the way, is doing the full kill on Kraid here. A couple of those super missiles landed in Kraid's nose and wasn't able to finish him off quickly.
Kraid almost finished Outrageous off, given the circumstances.
Thankfully, Kraid is coded to do very little damage to Samus because the reward in vanilla is the Varia suit.
Yeah, it's meant to be the first major boss you encounter. Now, actually, this is a check I don't believe we've seen yet either. The waterway. I think Outrageous was too low on energy, and I don't think you can get the Shine Spark without an extra energy tank.
If you're full from just a single energy tank, you're fine. This only takes about 50 energy.
Yeah,
Okay,
it looks like it was...
Nidorific went the full distance there. By the way, there's his Master Sword for Aga. But
Oh boy.
if you stop a couple blocks short, you use like 50 energy.
Okay. So yeah, it's that I could see it doable with one tank. But yeah, that is a perfectly in logic Shine Spark too. That is not gravity suit locked. So that's our second sword for Aga. The only thing we are missing is a lamp.
Yeah, I think it might be easy to say, oh well, I have limited amount of power bombs. I'm going to skip some checks in here and just try to do it later, or hope they don't matter. But you can farm power bombs inside the waterway room. So even if you only have 5, it's still a check you should make if you have Speed Booster, because that is one of the easiest locations to isolate in the whole game.
Yeah, and depending what else we find, that may end up being the logical Master Sword we need for Aga, because we still have no sign of that cape, we still have no sign of that lamp, and we're running out of checks again, actually, besides these blue Brinstar checks.
Yeah, the blue Brin is pretty item dense, and we've also got Old Mother Brain and Shaft Supers.
Yeah, both of which we can do a peek at with those, in Shaft Super's case, thanks to those to the speed booster. Let's have a look at alpha missiles here.
Oh,
And it's the cape.
so that's actually fine if Alraidris routes in a Bluebrand loop like I was talking about earlier. He can actually leave that sword behind and still be fine to do Aga, and he can get a Master Sword later to finish the game.
Well, there's our ice rod, far right side of Blue Brinstar. So I guess that means Turtle Rock is one of our other two pendants, right? Safe bet? Anybody?
Ice Rod is just one of it's in fact I think the least predictive progressive item in the entire game in terms of what it opens, so its placement almost never means anything.
And there's the lamp, but wait, there's more past that X-ray scope in Billy May's room.
Yep, so Alraidris, due to just misfortune of his route choice versus Nito's, neither of them was more valid. If anything, Nito's was kind of more risky. But Alraidris orphaned a few items in Brinstar. He's going to need to make a second pass through the blue and red tower areas, and he will get his Aga access, which Nito has now. So it's just a matter of will he bite or will he go look for a hammer somewhere?
I would think, given the circumstances, I would say after checking Old Mother Brain and Shaft Supers, you go do Aga now.
Agreed.
Since with your current equipment, I'm granted you're still missing boots, so you can't get the other glove on Lumberjack just yet. But you'll know they have to show up sometime soon.
Yeah, I think Nidourific hasn't checked Red Tower or the Moat item or anything in Rex Ship, so he could still conceivably do those, but he's on low energy, and I don't think he'd want to do Phantoon in this condition.
Yeah, I would wager that given he knows about plasma and has X-ray scope, he might be looking for charge beam to try and get a microwave setup going here. Because if you can use microwave, that'll save you trouble against Phantoon, Draygon, Bot's Wounds, several enemies in general. You'll just have an easier time.
Oof, nicely done by Nidourific there. This room can be very difficult for people who are inexperienced with how to get past those little bouncy doohickeys. I don't know the names of any of the enemies. Because they'll knock you out of your jump when you try to get across with your Shine Spark. But if you set a Shine Spark, then go back far enough to then get another one going, and you have iframes, you can jump past them, and just enough time left to get up the shaft.
Yeah, that's Shaft Supers is a really tough one. Although I'm surprised. Usually, if I see people have trouble for a couple seconds, I would just, if it were me, I would just default to Ice Beam, just freeze those things.
Oh, that's right. The runners have been playing with Ice Beam off most of the time. It's got a trade-off. Ice Beam powers up your beam, but it also freezes the enemies in front of you, which means you can't go through them fast.
And Nidourific, defying my expectations here, I believe he's going to do Red Tower and possibly Wreck Ship.
Gosh, at the very least, do the moat and go down Red Tower.
Because with Speed Booster in tow, Wreck Ship is actually full clearable, and it looks like that's where he's going.
Is he going to show off some... This isn't quite any percent strats. He has 2 energy tanks in a reserve, while any percent goes there with only 1 energy tank. But it's still, like, not an easy Phantoon. It's by no means free. And oh my god! He gets rewarded with the hookshot.
That is a big one, because with his current equipment, that also grants East Death Mountain access.
Yeah, I mean, not only East Death Mountain, but once you have Aga done, that's West Dark World access without mitts. So there's a lot of arguments about what's optimal here. I hate doing Phantoon with this little energy. I would be worried about dying. I personally would take that hook shot, knowing how many items it opens up for me, run back, do East Death Mountain. If I don't find a hammer, do Aga. Then you've got basically the whole Dark World in front of you to find more energy, to find Charge Beam, and so forth.
Yeah, that's definitely one I want to ask Nito about after the race. Spooky Missiles vanilla for the moment, and Alridris picking up those very lucrative blue Brintstar stockpile here.
Yeah, so Elradris is going to have the Aga starter kit. We'll see if he makes similar or different routing choices to Nidorific once he's out of here.
Yeah, given the Alridris is actually still running tankless for the moment.
Yeah, there was the one at Spospo, and then I can't remember where the other E-Tank was.
It was in. It wasn't old. I don't think it was Old Mother Brain.
So Phantoon is opening with a slow pattern here. Nidorific missed the first eye opening. So it's notable, the more patterns of Phantoon you see, the more times you're going to inevitably take damage. And each time Phantoon or one of its ghosty droplets hits you, you take 40 damage on no suits.
Yeah, those do hurt. Thankfully, Nidorific does at least have a reserve and does appear to be getting fairly okay health drops so far.
He also has Crystal Flash ammo, which is not something I factored in earlier.
Yeah, that's yeah, having more than 10 bombs this early and being able to Crystal Flash definitely makes your life easy. Also, I think I remember where that other E-Tank is, Retro Brinstar.
Yeah. Nito's close to finishing this fight here. Phantoon is already at a color where just a single super missile should do the trick. And
Nicely
he's
done.
never had an easier fight in his life. Piece of cake.
Yeah, Redris is actually about to get, we mentioned those energy tanks. He's about to get the other one right now.
Okay, well, with him coming back to do this cleanup, he'll get his Master Sword, and regardless of whether he needed the Master Sword, I'm sure he'll appreciate having it and being able to get it tempered in Desert later.
Yeah, especially since silvers are, since everybody has silvers and bow is required, I'm sure our runners will prefer Tempered Sword Silver Ganon easily over Master Sword.
Well, now the drama of the boss fights is over, and we're back to just seeing some new item exploration. Nidorific here is clearing out Wreck Ship.
And that is a very good time to be picking up that energy tank. Because, yeah, Nidorific took a hit from the spikes, and I think they did 60 damage.
Yeah, life is not easy as a suitless runner through through this dungeon. Well, do you call it a dungeon? It's kind of a dungeon.
Pretty much. So yeah, Outrageous will get that Master Sword here out of the waterway.
As soon as he can line up a Shine Spark.
Yeah, I mean, getting a horizontal Shine Spark in water, I imagine, is not as easy as regularly.
So Nidorific just showed us one of the handful of ways you can and are expected logically to be able to get through here with just Speed Booster. There are various spots you can start a run at such that you'll get enough jump height out of the water to then wall jump up and make your way out of the sponge bath.
Yeah, I think I remember a seed where this was the only logical check, and we, I don't remember who was co-commentating with me, but I think it was Mind of Me who enlightened us to the fact that turns out Speed Booster is all you need to get over here. But it's only for extra bombs, so Nidorific is going to go ahead and reset, not trouble himself getting out.
The runners, a lot of different runners are making snarky comments in SRL about this seed. I honestly don't think it's that bad so far. Like, you got Morph Ball at Agahnim, that was probably the worst item. But then since then, it's just been like, okay, here's your Aga, go do it.
Yeah, Aga's been open for a solid. I mean, ever since we got Morph Ball, technically, we've had the means to go get the equipment we need.
And then that hook shot just sealed the deal. But I hate wreck ship. I will put it off until late if I have any excuse. So don't take my play of like take the hook shot and leave as normal. Like a lot of runners would say, why are you wasting all this travel time to wreck ship? Just go do it.
Yeah, if there's one thing playing like Metroid Prime 2 Randomizer has taught me is it's to be a lot more, I guess, a lot more fearless with low E tank suitless tricky stuff.
Speaking of low E-tank stuff here, our just has to be a little careful because I'm pretty sure he'll take 60 damage every time he drops onto those spikes if he loses his grapple or gets knocked down by an enemy. But the E-tanks this seed have just come at the best places.
Yeah, that is the second energy tank of convenience we have seen so far, but the Wreck Ship Attic is granting Nidorific the bow. This has become quite a lucrative wreck ship so far. So with that, Nidorific will be able to pick up the crystal in Eastern Palace. And we'll be able to logically do everything in pod except Helmasaur.
That's right. Yeah, oh yeah, we already have a lamp, so Eastern full clearable and yeah, up to 5 items in pod, maybe 4 if Helmasaur has an item. Oh man, and a fire. Wow. Okay, so I clearly would have been punished if I put off Wreck Ship, though as long as I didn't wait until too late, like Bow and Fire Rod are kind of late game items, or items that don't open up much, so depends on how long you put off Wreck Ship, but our two, or at least one of our runners on stream made the right call tonight.
It would appear so, because yeah, with Fire Rod in tow, that is also a full clear ability of Skull Woods. And with the other rod in tow, we're just a cane and boots and hammer and away from being able to full clear Turtle Rock, if you can believe it.
Yeah, it is weird seeing both rods this early. Usually one of those is the hunt item, so to speak, because again, rods can be placed almost anywhere, same with bow. That's why they are so often late game chase items.
Especially ice. Since there's only literally one thing it can't be behind, and that's Trinex. Nidorific having to play it a little bit safe here, getting to the bowling alley here, but does succeed. And Redris, meanwhile, checking Alpha Power Bombs, getting another Power Bomb tank and an Energy tank in Red Tower. So Red Tower is giving us a couple of our Super Metroid safeties we've been longing for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, now with his energy situation, if I were Alraiders, I'd save right here in Red Tower and head on over to Wreck Ship. 4 E-Tanks plus a reserve is way different than the conversation we were having 20 minutes ago. But if he wants to go Aga, which I totally would understand, he would just come up here, maybe check the moat item, and then head back left to his ship.
Yeah, this will be an interesting. This will be interesting to see Nidorific get up this tower because he's a little low on power. Now, granted, as soon as he's done, he could just Crystal Flash and be done with it. But
Crystal Flash would soft
yes.
lock him. He needs a bomb to get out.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because I looked at the ammo. I was like, oh, Crystal Flash ammo. Wait a minute, it takes 11 power bombs.
We have a question, chat. If TR is a pendant, does that mean glove is not required? No, Titan's Mitts is always required because Ganon's tower is on Dark Death Mountain, which absolutely requires Titan's Mitts.
Yep, and hammer is required always because you can't construct a pendant layout where you don't need hammer. Okay, getting the moat. What's happening after the moat? Ooh, he's going across. Okay, all right. I respect this.
Yeah, so both of our runners ultimately deciding to make that wreck ship play. This is going to pay out big time for both of our runners. Now, and actually, all things considering, the only equipment difference right now between our two runners is going to be Alredris did not pick up Ether at Shaft Supers, it would appear, and or the Moon Pearl from Gauntlet, which I would wager he might be picking up on the way out.
Yeah, if once you get back to your ship, you refill your energy. That's something that you can do a quick little loop out away from your ship and then back to go into Link to the Past.
In fact, our runners are actually going to kind of high five here as our Nidorific is heading in the direction of Red Tower, most likely also to Kraid.
Yeah, so right now Alredris is behind by about the time of his death. Right, if you look at what territory they both covered, Nidorific hasn't done Kraid yet. Alredris needs to do Phantoon, but he did have a reset, so that was just pure lost time.
Yeah, all things considering, though, the seed is it's definitely got a clear sense of direction for right now, but it is also going to open up big time once our runners do Aga.
Yep, they'll be able to do all of Pod, all of Skull Woods, be able to do all of Thieves Town for that green pendant. Now, of course, we don't know if Pod or Skullwood are not Pod. Yeah, we don't know the crystal or pendant status of Pod and Skullwoods yet, but they can do them.
Yeah, we are also short a hammer, so we still can't defeat Helmasaur, and we also can't get to the Thieves Town big chest, which we may not even have to do anyway.
Oh, right,
But we could end up getting a French vanilla or a vanilla even hammer at this point.
I'm looking forward to Hammer being at like the space jump block in Lower Norfair, and then space jump is at Plasma. This is where the cruel things are starting to come into my mind now that we're like an hour into the seed.
Yeah, this is I mean, for now it's looking good, but it's really when the seed is at its most open where things can start to go downhill very quickly. Oh, Outrageous needs to.
Oh, go ahead.
Gotta stop you for a second, because Outrageous needs to be extremely careful right now. As he has just burnt his reserve.
Now, did he save before coming here? Because I don't remember seeing one.
I'm not sure.
He got killed during the Crystal Flash.
Ooh. That is unfortunate. But it does look like, if I had to guess by the criteria location, yeah, he saved the ship.
Yeah, but when? 10 power bombs. No.
Oh, that's a huge, that's a big
He did not take the safety save in Red Tower. He is missing... He's missing his second pass through Brinstar.
Which means
so
he is down...
collect all the stuff for Aga.
Yeah, he's down Ice Rod, Lamp, and a sword. And a sword because of
that's
oh my goodness,
damage on that crab, by the way. Outrageous right now, his best play, given what he knows, it would probably be to go to backup strats, get the hook shot, get the stuff he needs for Aga, go do it. He'd be leaving behind the bow and fire rod, but he can get them later. Because recollecting all those minor items is going to be kind of time he can't afford right now if he's really looking to stay competitive.
Yeah, that's just a very unfortunate time to take a KO. So at this point, it's really just going to come down to when our runners do decide to go fight Aga, because at this point, I can't imagine. I'm pretty sure Aga 1 is not only going to be required for those Titansmiths, but is also our Dark World access at this point, because I don't think we have any other spot we can check where Hammer could be hiding.
I'm thinking very hard, and yeah, I believe we're all tapped out for logical locations because Eastern was full cleared of items.
Oh, Cool Papa Bill reminds us East Death Mountain is a perfectly viable play. That is 7 items in Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave.
8 even.
True. We can also take a peek at the floating island.
Yeah, that gosh, I don't know. I guess I don't know how many like total combo rando races Outrageous has run. I know he is on the side of the more experienced runners. Um, so as you play games like this more, which is by the way a very difficult randomizer to learn, you start to flex and test your limits, figure out what you can do on what amount of energy, what kind of safeties you need for certain fights, when to take saves and so forth. And it seems like he just pushed his limits a little too aggressively, thought that the crystal flash during the Phantoon fight would be safer than it was.
Yeah, he went into that fight with considerable, I think less than half health overall, and Nitorific not getting a good mouth opening pattern from Kraid, and it looks like we got a full ballroom tonight. Dances all around.
Yeah, the great quick kill, it's something that comes and goes. I will have times where I hit it 6 in a row, and then haven't hit it since. So it's if you're not someone like Zost or whatever who's just like drilling the fight, multiple times a day, every day, it can be finicky.
Yeah, didn't waste much time afterwards, though, to be fair, so Nitorific recovering quite nicely. And yeah, look at, you could see the difference now. Nitorific's health just suddenly, between the last 20 minutes and now, shot up to 5 energy tanks. But yeah, let's see what Alredris's next play is. Does he go back for hookshot or does he go straight to Aga? Or does he try again at Phantoon?
I mean, I would be pretty discouraged if I were him at this point from the Phantoon play. I think he knows he has other options. The Phantoon choice earlier seemed more like a route of convenience, like, oh, I'm coming up Red Tower, wreck ship's right here.
Yeah, this will be interesting to see where this goes, and I can't imagine Alredris is going to pick up all 4 of the energy tanks that he's come by over the course of the seed either. So we'll see. Also, please don't get hit twice by those side hoppers. Anywho, Nitorific going back to A Link to the Past now. First stop is definitely going to be East Death Mountain.
Yep, he's going to navigate one of my least favorite stretches of the game here, past all these dead rocks and falling cabbages, and even these little Cyclops hoppers over here, whatever they're called, have given me the
Tektites.
business before. Tektites. I've died to those red Tektites more than once.
Yeah, Tektites are not a friendly enemy. Even in later games, Link Between Worlds, Link's Awakening, Switch, they're still a pain in the backside.
They were in the original game too.
Yes. Uh-oh, bit of an energy failure once again on Alredris' side.
Yeah, he's gonna need to either leave the room and re-farm it a couple times until his power bombs max out and those little roly-polies give him some energy, or he'll need to leave it completely and go to like a farm pipe up in the middle of the room.
Oh boy. In the meantime, Nitorific is looking through Paradox Cave, and literally the only thing of interest down there was a shovel. Okay, that little crawler there did not drop a power bomb, so Alredris is still short one for that Crystal Flash.
Yep, but he's getting close.
Unfortunately, Nitorific had a bit of a stream hiccup while we were trying to see Floating Islands, so unfortunately, until we get Titan's Mitts and Mirror, we will not be seeing what that is.
And now is probably a good time to inform you that Alredris has forfeit from the race. He's had some IRL issues come up, though I'm sure it's been a bit of a downer seed for him so far with the stalled progress. I'm going to ask our organizer if there's a chance that we can find an alternative runner to slot in, since we still have a good 2 hours left of this broadcast.
I would wager, I would wager it is, though. But yeah, GG's to Outrageous, a valiant effort nonetheless. And Spiral Cave, I think, only having another heart container. So we are going into Aga Tower with 12 hearts, red mail, silver arrows, and Master Sword.
Yeah, GG though to Outrageous. Put up a good hour and a certainly difficult and wonky seed so far. We will try and get you a replacement if possible.
All right, so yeah, Nidorific is going to trek up Aga Tower. Shouldn't have too much trouble. I'm actually legit surprised that East Death Mountain was as barren as it was, because literally I saw like every capacity upgrade possible, including an energy tank, like 2 heart containers, arrows, and bombs.
We got audio switched for you, so at least we got part of our stream's production value back. Still working on the chance of a second runner.
Now, after Aga Tower, if I had to hazard a guess with his current equipment, I would wager his first stop is actually going to be West Ark World, given the fact that Nidorific could full clear Skull Woods, do the vast majority of Thieves Town, go to Hype Cave, check Haunted Grove, and if a mirror pops up, do K45 and check the shovel spot. I would say the thing Nidorific really wants to show up right now would it would either be Pegasus Boots or Mirror. Now, granted, suits would be nice too, but yeah, we're a little we have quite a considerable number of options open to us once we get out of this tower. Nidorific using that magical boomerang to great effect, keeping the guards at bay. And now we'd like to ask the chat, how many blue balls do you expect Aga 1 will be giving us this evening?
I'm gonna go for even count. I'm gonna say we're gonna get 6 and 6.
6? Fair enough. Yeah, Aga 1's pattern is a 5 attack sequence. So the first one guaranteed to be a reflectable orange ball. The next 3 being a 50-50 being an orange ball or a blue ball, which is unreflectable. And the 5th attack being a sequence of lightning. We have already seen 2 blue balls so far.
Ooh, Nita's in a cheeky spot there. Apparently not taking damage behind Agahnim.
Yeah, I think given the fact that Aga 1's kind of been trolling all of our runners today for quite some time, right off the bat with the glove on Lumberjack, makes sense for Nidorific to try a little back. We're already at 4 blue balls, though, so Aga 1 not being particularly cooperative this evening. That's 3 in a row, so yeah, now we're at 5.
Yeah, this is a pretty unlucky pattern. You expect, with the fact that there are fixed points where you'll get an energy ball, to go about 6 and 5, 6 and 4 most times.
I believe this is the, it's now 5 and 5 so far, so this will decide it. And we're at 6, so if this next one is an orange, your guess will be the one. And it is.
We also had Foxfire Kitsune in chat, guest 6.
Yeah, so not too bad, all things considering. Pretty slightly below decent, I guess, for lack of a better term, but not 15 at the very least. And it is just extra arrows on the ledge. And here's our Dark World map check. Our other pendants are Pod and Turtle Rock, with our 5-6 crystals on Ice Palace and Swamp Palace. Told ya Turtle Rock was a pendant. Looks like Nitorific's first choice is indeed going to be to go to Pod. Admittedly, not what I expected. I thought for sure he was going to go West Dark World, but nope. Pod it is, and given the circumstances, especially since it's Pendant Pod, there's progression in there. You always check your Pendant dungeons if that's something the Shades has taught me.
So that's something I find very contentious with Shade's recommendations. It comes from a good place, but here's the thing: pendant dungeons matter a heck of a lot in solo Link to the Past randomizer, and they used to matter a lot in combo randomizer up until version 10.1. We're on version 10.2 right now. Any item inside a dungeon in Link to the Past is logically equivalent to any overworld check that requires the same amount of items to access it. That used to not be the case. Dungeons were weighted heavily, with dungeons with higher key counts being weighted even more so. That disproportionately put more progression in Link to the Past pendant dungeons and robbed Super Metroid of a lot of its possible treasure. Pendant dungeons are a much bigger gamble in this version of the randomizer.
Fair enough. But even still, Nitorific can check everything in here except Helmosaur, so up to, at the very least, 4 items up for grabs here regardless.
Yeah, I think the check is good because it's item dense and because it's close to where he was. That's and because it's a pendant, you expect to only have to come here once. If this were Crystal Pod, I would probably be waiting for the hammer, and so would he.
Yeah, if we're looking for, if you're looking for an excuse for the pedestal today, it's gonna be kinda tough given our current equipment for Link to the Past at the very least. Since Hammer and, well, I guess Mirror and Flippers could be in, on the pedestal. That's about all we got right now. Well, there's our first item in Pod, and it's a garbage single rupee. Now, of the 6 chests in the front of Palace of Darkness, at least 4 of them have to be keys. But yeah, if you're looking for a pet seed tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you would hope for Myers Medallion or Mirror or Flippers. Kane is required for TR, so it can't be on Ped, or pretty much anything in Super Metroid. And it can't be Boots on Ped since our Titan's Mitts is locked behind them, and therefore, since Mitts are needed for TR, Boots cannot be on Ped either. We have a question in chat. Can you fake Flipper in the Dark World? Yes, you can. In fact, runners will somewhat commonly do that in order to fake Flipper into Ice Palace if they have the means to full clear it.
And there's another interesting fake flipper you can do that's actually two of them that I think are pretty common among SMZ3 runners. One is coming out of the Meridia portal. You can fake flipper your way to Pod if you don't have the flippers, obviously, but if you're trying to sequence break, say, Aga access. Additionally, you can use the boots to set up a water walk to get from west side to east side Dark World from the north.
Another one, another Aga skip is the Kern bomb jump, where you use a bomb to yeet yourself into the screen transition at the bottom of the map near there. Near the bridge. The broken bridge. And Pod is not paying out for Nidorific so far. Mostly we found keys, and I think we've seen a green rupee. We've seen the map. I don't think we've seen anything else of any interesting note in any way, shape, or form so far in Pod.
Yep, he had 3 keys here, so he's got to check Harmless Hellway, and it was just a missile.
Yeah, I think our only last, we actually, if I'm not mistaken, we have not seen a big key yet. So one of these 2 chests, I think, has to have that as well. And there's the compass, too, so that actually puts an item on Helmasaur King. Because I don't think Helmasaur King can have a key.
1 chest left, because we just got a pack of bombs.
Wow, nothing in Pod. Nothing in Pendant Pod, but an item left on the boss.
Yeah, I'm going to assume we're not going to be coming back for that. Pedestal seeds they're rare enough in Solo Link to the Past Randomizer. They're even rarer in Combo Rando when you figure you've got an extra 100 locations to distribute.
Yeah, I haven't seen a Ped Seed since a couple of times in October.
I did have one just the other day with a shovel on the pedestal, which, you'll love to see it.
Yeah, luckily, no shovel on pedestal today, but it could still be the other 2 fetch quest items, Powder and Mushroom. I think Nidorific's next play is to go to Catfish. Now, Mirror or Flippers here would be pretty nice because that would allow Nidorific to check Waterfall Fairy, although you would need both if you want to do that on the spot, unfortunately, so...
Yeah, I mean, I think the best hope here is probably just hammer, right? Like, you want to be able to clear the game somewhat efficiently and take faster routes and not leave items behind. So you really want something that helps you not orphan locations.
Yeah, not to mention, I don't know if it's just me, but Catfish, especially in seeds like this where it's pretty barren for a while, Catfish usually has progression, but not this time, apparently. I'm used to seeing mitts on Catfish, quite honestly.
Yeah, speaking of mitts, we really, really want boots right now because it does 2 things. It makes us go fast, and you've got to go fast. It's a speed run. And 2, it gets us our mitts. And mitts will open up the Smith sequence at the very least on the left side of the Dark World.
Yeah, all things considered, and I'm actually kind of surprised that, given that since Aga, we've seen East Death Mountain and Pod, both of which have had nothing. I'm actually legit surprised we haven't had any progression since that point. That was interesting, hookshotting that Hinox bomb there.
Did Nidorific take that shovel and check the field in Light World?
I do not believe so. I believe the shovel spot is still unchecked. There really hasn't been a convenient time to go do it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you're resetting the house when you do Agahnim, but you're going the other direction.
Yeah, that's exactly where he went. He went straight up instead of straight down. And looks like Nidorific's first stop is going to be Skull Woods, full clearable crystal dungeon. So, might as well. All right, just a key as our first check of Skull Woods. There's a few chests in here, but only 2 items, so not a particularly high-density dungeon, but still one that you might as well do given the circumstances. That mini jellyfish there had a really weird hitbox there for a split second. Unfortunately, no big key yet, so Nidorific's gonna have to come back later for that big chest. Assuming, of course, he does not find the other two items.
Yeah, now he didn't even have to necessarily make that check. Because he's got Fire Rod already, you can just go straight to the back of Skullwoods, do Mothula and the item in front of Mothula in the sort of basement area, and best case scenario, you get both items and don't have to enter another entrance in Skullwoods.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't do that myself, all things considering. Wallmaster and the Gibdos both not being nice to him either.
Thankfully, this is a pretty convenient spot to die if he were to... Oh, there's a charge beam.
That is a really good time to be picking that up, considering that you know where Plasma Beam is chilling at, and you need Mirror anyways for Swamp Palace, so you know it's going to show up eventually. That is going to practically be best case scenario almost for Nidorific as he travels through the rest of Super Metroid.
Yeah, now there are only 2 bosses left to do the microwave on, and if you get flippers, you're skipping Butt Wound almost 100% of the time. Plus, we have Grapple Beam for Draygon, so like the combo isn't as appealing as it was pre-Phantoon. But it was accessible pre-Phantoon. He could have been here already.
Very true. Yeah, because the hookshot was pre-Phantoon, so yeah, he could have just dipped out of Wreck Ship after hookshot.
Alas, but this is the route that we're seeing, and he's been executing it very well so far.
Which
We are still looking for some help with getting another runner up. I've been asking around in various discords. We have a potential second restream volunteer, just no technical assistance yet.
Yeah, in the meantime, yeah, to be fair, that wreck ship play ultimately was still a very lucrative play because with bow and fire rod, it allowed Nidorific to do a lot more checks. And Pod was able to get to Mothula even. I'm also sorry, I blinked and I missed. Have we seen any other items so far?
No, just that charge beam.
Okay, so we've seen one item, we're still missing the other one, which is probably in the big chest.
Yeah, though even if we didn't have that bow, he did pick up a red potion early in the game and a kind of contested minor or major glitch that is allowed in the combo rando runs is to do the potion glitch in Pod, where you can scroll the screen essentially off screen and despawn the mimics.
Oh, I am being enlightened that we have seen both items in Skullwoods and that it was a piece of heart, so Nidorific just went to the back for the crystal. Never mind. Thanks, chat.
Oh, fantastic.
So
It's
yeah,
also nice not to have to check the item that's below Mothula anyways, because without the mirror, you have to wind your way back out.
indeed. Now we're actually in a bit of a peculiar scenario where there's actually a couple of pretty nasty places Hammer can actually be parked at right now. Hammer could be, if we find Pegasus boots soon, Hammer could be all the way down in Ice Palace. Actually, we're still looking for flippers, so never mind. We're actually still looking for a lot before Ice Palace. To answer a question, chat, Aga 1 was required for Dark World access as we have no clue where the hammer was. In the meantime, we do have Nidorific going through the Village of Outcast chests as we are now bringing to you Bressingham Void.
Yeah, thanks to EDM, who unfortunately was running this race and also forfeit like Outrageous did earlier, but tough, tricky seed, but is a speed gaming volunteer and is bringing us a second runner. So we're going to be slowly catching up on tracking, and we don't know where Bressingham has been, so can't say much about the history of the plays. But
well, we can say that he's been to Chest Game in Village of Outcast because the Chest Game is where Nidorific just found that hammer.
Ah, fantastic. So he's already been through Village of Outcasts.
So yeah, I would wager that hammer allowed Bressingham to just go ahead and round out all the way around East Death Mountain to go to Tower of Hera. So we're finally getting some new, we're getting some even more new information from that neck of the woods. It would also appear that Hera was not, or Moldorm at the very least, was not firelocked. And I think Bressingham also just found both items, because he's skipping the big chest and going straight up.
All right, this is great. We can once again bring you some real competitive 1v1 action, and especially as it gets close in the end game and we're looking at runners getting towards the finish line, it's going to be a lot more intense than basically just restreaming Nidorefic's stream.
Ooh, how about the high jump boots in the big key chest of Thieves Town? And with that hammer, this is pretty convenient timing because Nidorific will be able to go all the way to the back. And in fact, we have seen 3 items in the front of Thieves Town. No sign of the map or compass or the small key. So it's actually looking pretty likely that the Thieves Town big chest may be empty today.
This is a pretty lucrative Village of Outcasts Thieves Town combo over here so far. Even in Skull Woods, this whole west side of the Dark World has been great.
Yeah, meanwhile, Bressingham has drawn our first blood in A Link to the Past, if you could believe it, at 128.32. At least we think it's first blood. We'll verify by the crystal count momentarily.
Getting a relatively early Spike Cave check here from Bress. This can be one of those locations that's left behind until late in the game.
Yeah, I think with 2 bottles and over 10 hearts, so well, there's Cave 2, so yeah, this is a perfectly safe check. And there is Variasuit in the top of Thieves Town, and that is our entire Thieves Town docket cleaned out. So at this time, Nidorific can go straight to the boss.
Yeah, Nidorific has a big swath of Super Metroid open to him. He can actually clear every location in the game that's not locked by Space Jump, which is only one of them, because he technically has the Suitless Meridia gear. But he also can't do Shack Tool, but that's it. But that being said, you're never going to do Suitless Meridia unless you're really desperate in normal logic.
Well, actually, what's stopping Nidorific from doing Shack Tool right now?
You need Space Jump for that.
Ah. And Spring Ball.
Oh yeah, and Spring Ball. But he's got all the general like Suitless Meridia traversal items, which is not a combo that's significant for this logic, but I always find it funny when people get High Jump, Ice Beam, and Grapple together early.
Yeah, and with that Variasuit in tow, it's unlikely we'll be seeing the Grand Hell Run to Ridley, at least from Bressingham. I'd have to wager Bressingham may have dipped into Thieves Town as well, given that given the circumstances, and it would also appear that Bressingham's packing a Tempered Sword. And is now just getting Ice Beam. And Mirror Shield, apparently, so our third shield has popped up somewhere.
Nidorific's doing the blind fight, which is scripted. If you know how to do it, it's the same inputs, the same actions from the main blind character every time. The heads, I think, are total RNG, but don't quote me on that.
I'm honestly not too sure on that front, unfortunately. But that is the green pendant for Bressingham, or for Nidorific, rather, excuse me. And it would appear that Bressingham is doing a fake flipper to do the flippers check, so I guess flippers are still missing in action.
Yeah, so we've suddenly gotten a lot of items in bunches, which has opened up both games pretty substantially. We still got most of the Dark Overworld to clear, but not the stuff that's locked by Mitts or Mirror. And then we have, of course, Upper Norfair, but even Lower Norfair is accessible with a pretty easy high jump lava dive if a runner was like, ooh, I really want to go get that sword, and they happen to find the mirror.
Indeed. Bressingham showing us that the bridge guy heart is in fact the heart container is in fact the sank heart. So got a very nice 7 heart refill there.
According
Meanwhile,
to
Nita.
I was just gonna say, according to chat, the blind fight, even the head movement is scripted if you stay at the same points of hitting blind.
Wow, that was 29 digs for a big 20.
Didn't even get $1 per dig. Gross.
Yeah, that's no good. Bressingham, meanwhile, showing us that Waterfall Fairy is trash. Just bombs and flying bombs.
Electric Saberman, we do not know where Bressingham's other sword came from so far. We picked him up on the restream about an hour and a half in.
Looks like Bressingham has never done any of the Zora checks at any point. Now, granted, this will be the only trip since Bressingham is about to get the biggest scam of his life.
Really good job of him, by the way, navigating all the way here, keeping his fake flipper intact.
Yeah, that is not easy to do, especially since like any hit can really. Yeah, Zora's about to have a very bad day.
We're gonna find out how hype Cave is right now.
If I had to hazard a guess, I'm gonna guess that sword that Bressingham picked up is here. Well, it's at least giving another bottle.
Oof.
And nope. Sword
Super
not there. No
and
progression.
A fairy in a bottle. I'm gonna say because there was a fairy in the bottle, that's a 2 out of 10 hype cave.
Yeah, that's fair. Although I'd say 1.5 since at this point we have charged, so we don't really need to concern ourselves with supers that much more.
Yeah, the average rating between us and chat is coming out to somewhere around 1.5 or 2.
Yeah. If I were a betting man, though, I would say Nidorific is probably going to do a lot of Norfair checks here. We might even see Croc.
So Bress is coming back into the west side of the Dark World. There must be something he didn't clear first pass through, despite having already collected his hammer.
He might have just noped out right after picking up Hammer to get, to head over to, Tower of Hera. To answer question, chat, the various suit was in the Thieves' Town attic.
Okay, speaking of Thieves' Town, he's going there now. So this is a green pendant, as we've noted earlier, and as Nidorific has already finished it. Bress probably just dipped the front, found nothing elsewhere, and it looks like the seed has led us to a choke point where Varia is the only progression.
It would appear so. Ooh, not only is that may be, that's a can fly right there. That is our Morph Ball bombs.
Yep, so now logically Space Jump can only be required if it's either our forward progression into Lower Norfair, because we need to get boots down there, for example, or if there's an item locked at the left side at Golden Torizo.
Yeah, the so-called Showcase Showdown there. But it looks like Nidorific is betting on Croc, which, again, I don't know if it's just because of the seeds I've commentated, but it seems that you should always bet on Croc.
I mean, it's certainly a fine play when we've got only, what, like 16 items in Norfair? 18 maybe, if you count Ice and Crumble. So this is, a good third of what's remaining behind this Varia suit.
And there would be Bressingham's Varia suit, and I think he realized, yeah, that was an unnecessary double dip.
Cool. So it seems like total collection-wise, these two runners are in a very similar spot, but we know Nito hasn't done Tower of Hera because we've been watching him the whole time.
Yeah, and given that Bressingham has Pod's pendant under his belt, I would wager what he did was get the hammer in chess game, nope out and go to Hera and Pod, finish off Helmasaur King, I guess, to get whatever item was hiding back there. And now, and that explains why his Variasuit was a bit late. So
Yeah.
I think that's as far back as we can go as far as his routing choices, but we'll ask him during the interview to kind of take us through his first hour, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clear. If you do Skull Woods, you wrap around, do Village of Outcasts, dip the front of Thieves Town, go all the way to Hype Cave, and then do Pod with the hammer in hand. He has a pretty natural route we can piece from before this.
Ooh, half magic in the cosine room of Croc Escape. So quite a useful one, considering we still have a couple of fairly magic intensive dungeons left on our to-do list.
Yeah, half magic I'm going to go ahead and say is my favorite quality of life item in Link to the Past. Oh, Meteorific's just showing off at this point. He does a 4-tap short charge to get up here when he did not need to.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
And it can also be required in hard logic, by the way. It just almost never happens.
Oh my.
That said, because he didn't bomb away the blocks over there, he's now having to do the hard version of getting up to this ledge, so who's the show-off now? But Bressingham's coming up right behind him at Croc. And look at that.
You always bet on Croc, ladies and gentlemen. It has been said many times, and it just keeps getting reinforced seed after seed here. At least on camera.
Nito also just hit one of the best mock balls in the game.
Yeah, and with all that done, oh yeah, that is a really solid mock ball. With the Pegasus boots in tow, that means Nidourific can go pick up those Titans mitts, and with his current equipment, assuming it's not Bombos locked. Oh, actually, no, we have no cane. Never mind. I was gonna say we could full clear Turtle Rock here, but nope, we're missing cane.
No, here's what I'm thinking. So, when you come out of Croc, it leads you back to Business Center. He has no reason to do the rest of Upper Norfair right away, because Boots and Mitts are going to open up a lot of checks for him. He can try and route in a Lower Norfair to Upper Norfair clear if he'd like. But he's going this way, so it looks like he's going to route in the Upper Norfair checks now.
Yeah, there's still a few checks we can see here. Speed Booster is one of them. Okay. Maybe Nidourific thinking about something?
No, he just got lost. He was looking to get back to Upper Norfair here. You almost never go backwards up this shaft, right? Like, this is so uncommon to even see this route of traversal, but he's doing it.
So at this point, we are looking for go mode. Let's assume Meyer is not Bombos locked. If Meyer is not Bombos locked, then we are looking for Mirror, Flippers, and
Gravity Suit.
Gravity Suit. And we could get away without Flute if we find Gravity Suit to get to go through the lava pit to get to Lower Norfair that way.
Yeah, logically we'd also still need Space Jump for that, but both these runners are capable of even getting to Lower Norfair with what they have now with a high jump lava dive. Once you have Gravity Suit, the Gravity Jump lava dive is trivial.
Yeah, a couple items here in the Norfair Reserve to pick up, so let's see where this puts us. Not too much, unfortunately, just more expansions for Super Metroid. Yeah, thankfully with Variasuit, environmental damage is reduced to such a minimal degree that traversing this area at this point isn't really that dangerous. Nidourific's also packing at least 2 reserves at this point, thanks to the extra one from Pod's big chest, so yeah, I would say he's probably going to be alright for some time.
So these runners are making the same decision once again, maybe proving why they are better runners and consistently beat me. I have a tendency to see items and go, ooh, shiny, leave and try to route in the remaining checks in an area later. So I would have, I would have taken the hook shot, done something different. I would have taken the boots here, done something different. But they both really are looking forward to this upper north air clear.
Yeah, we're having a look at Wave Beam here, which is only a hard piece.
Bress is like really intent on getting some power bombs from these things.
Yeah, I'm curious as to... I can understand if he wants the extra ammo for a Crystal Flash, but yeah, otherwise he's doing fine on energy. And actually, I'm curious to know where he got the extra 8 missile packs from. Because yeah,
Unclear.
there is quite the missile difference here between Nidorific and Bressingham.
I mean, that suggests there was probably a missile on Helmasaur King, at the very least.
Yeah, that's a fairly distinct possibility. Alright, Speed Booster giving us even more rupees, which at this point we really don't need, and slightly less but more rupees that we don't need.
So we've only got one check left in Upper Norfair. These have all been duds. We just need to see the Cathedral item. But it looks like they would have been safe to just take the boots and run, and if necessary, save these checks until after Lower Norfair. Chat points out Nidorific's been skipping a lot of the missiles, and that makes sense too. He got Charge Beam a while ago, but Bressingham should have that as well.
I think he does. Hold on a second. Yeah, according to... yeah, it looks like he does.
So let's talk about what's not in Norfair that we can access. We can do Bonk Rocks, King's Tomb, Lumberjack to get our mitts. Mitts provide us access in logic to Smiths and Purple Chest, as well as Hammer Pegs, because we did pick up a hammer. Additionally, we've got Fake Flipper access to Ice Palace. They're probably going to put that one off. And we've got East Death Mountain, one item in Hookshot Cave, 2 in Paradox. Just trying to add up what else is available.
You mean Super Bunny Cave, right?
Super Bunny, yeah. The Dark World version of Paradox.
Yeah. So yeah, the options are out there for right now. I think the one that our runners would rather see at this point is Mirror. Because if they see Mirror, they can go get that book and go to Clear Desert. At the same time, I'm sure they wouldn't mind being able to clear Swamp either, because then they could fake, because they'll need flippers. By that point, they'll also be able to clear Ice and check Pyramid Fairy by extension.
Yeah, I think, yeah, good point. The combination of Mirror and Flippers gets us the book, but the book really at this point is just 2 checks, since the Mirror also will give them a way to mirror into Desert by Meyer.
Very true. Actually, I'm come to think of it, yeah, the book is... Suddenly that book's value has kind of really dipped down. And Nidorific finally picking up those mitts. Yeah, unfortunately, with both runners clearing Skull Woods, if you were hoping for a pet check at this point, you're probably not going to see it until it starts getting dicey, just because, personally, if I wanted to do a pet check, I would mirror from Skull Woods. But...
yeah, now as far as what could be on it, I mean, it's a little too early for a serious runner to think about it, but for us, we like to play games, so what can be on pedestal? Gravity Suit, Mirror.
Flippers. Could be on ped too.
Good point.
If Meyer needs Bombos, Bombos can be on ped. If Turtle Rock isn't also Bombos. Could be Space Jump, could be... It can't be Kane. That's
Right.
about it, all things considering.
I think the best item to appear there would be Gravity Suit, because then we would have runners legitimately say, hey, how much time does it take me to get all these pendants versus can I do Suitless Draygon? I know Bressingham can do Suitless Draygon. I'm not sure if Nidourific has practiced it.
Yeah, and that would be a tough question indeed, especially considering Total Rock is a pendant. So that's a long dungeon to clear, regardless of whether you're go-moding it or not.
All right, so Nidourific is... oh, he's got Hookshot in hand. Sorry, I, for some reason, was operating on us only being able to get one item in Hookshot. No, Dark Death Mountain is 6 items. This is a good check.
Yeah, this actually makes a lot of sense now.
Oh, he's... I see. He's going up to the Turtle Rock portal. He's got a 2/3 chance of being able to open it.
Yeah, makes sense, because what if Kane shows up, then you could full clear Total Rock, so...
Oh,
And
he's staying on the light side because he wants to get Hera out of the way.
that makes a lot of sense, too. We know that Hera... I don't think Hera had anything significant. I'm trying to
No, but
think.
this is good routing, because once you go dark, you can't go bark, as they say. He doesn't have the mirror, so he wants to be able to get this out of the way before checking Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, and I definitely don't remember seeing anything too, like, tracker-worthy coming out of Tower of Hera, so... Now, I actually want to bring attention to something that, on Bressingham's screen, you might notice his sprite colors have been a little different throughout this seed. That is indeed possible. That is not a, like, bug with Bressingham's ROM or anything like that. You can use a third-party sprite injector to get custom sprites into the combo randomizer. They're unfortunately not built in by default like Link to the Past is.
But they're coming in the next version. V11 beta is out right now, and it does have support for a number of alternate sprites in both games.
Ooh, I cannot wait to see that.
Yeah, once V11's out of beta, that's going to be the standard. That's what we'll be running on our weeklies, and there are a couple of other exciting changes coming, but the big difference is just that it's rewritten in a different programming language. Now, did both of the runners do Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb in addition to
Yes.
getting their mitts? Like, okay. Because I don't have any visual memory of those for some reason.
I know for a fact King's Tomb was a big 20. I'm not sure about Bonk Rocks, but it was not important.
All right, we're actually going to have a little bit of high-fiving on East Death Mountain here. Granted, the runners only have 2 real ways to go, right? There's this, and there's the West Side Dark World stuff with Smith's equals Hammer Pegs. I've got to say, when it comes down to it, this seed has had a lot of funnels. The last time that there was a really big difference, or like point at which you could differentiate your routing, was when you had the choice between Wreck Ship and Aga. Codazzler in chat, what's the advantage of changing the programming language? Well, this is a different randomizer ultimately than the solo randos of either game. It's maintained by someone else, and people being able to write games in their preferred language, whether it's more modern or has some other features that they like, allows them to be more productive, make changes faster. And again, development of this is independent of Link to the Past randomizer. There might be things added to this that aren't in the main game, and vice versa. So yeah, specifically Total, thank you Total, by the way, the creator of this randomizer. Hold that thought. We have Bombos and Gravity Suit in Hookshot Cave. So the linearity continues. Now everyone's going to Meridia.
Yeah, and we also saw Red Cane, I believe, on the floating island, and there's Wave Beam in Super Bunny Cave, too. So we are looking really good for closing out the rest of this seed. The only thing that's really giving our runners a headache right now is Mirror and Flippers.
Yep. So we've got all of Meridia, and then probably sequence broken lower Norfair, but that would be the play to make after Meridia full clear. While Swamp and Ice are going to be pretty late. And Red Cane, God, we need Red Cane, but hopefully it comes at kind of a convenient spot so we can just go mode Mire.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta wait for Mirror to pop up first, unfortunately.
Sorry, I did say Mire, not Swamp.
Well, even still, for the Cane.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is like, you know, it would suck to have to go to Misery Mire without Red Cane to find it there.
Oh yeah, like Mirror in Mire to Red Cane on to get to Floating Island for the Red Cane.
Oh, sorry, we saw it on... Alright, both of these streams, I don't know if it's the restream machine we're using today or if it's the runner's bit rates, but both these restreams have been just a tick choppy and kind of blurry. So there have been item checks where they're on screen for a little bit and I missed them.
Well, chat's got me on this one. So really thank chat for this one, to be honest. Looks like we're looking nice and safe in, as we go into Meridia, though. We're now running on 8 E-Tanks, both suits. But yeah, with Cane of Samaria on Floating Island, so yeah, that actually kind of delivers a pretty nasty stab wound to the pedestal. Literally, the only thing it can have now are flippers. And possibly Space Jump. If flippers are in Showcase Showdown, that would be disgusting!
So let's talk about total progress. We're at almost 2 hours. Bressingham and Niterific each have 2 crystals and 2 SM bosses, but most of their items, and they've got the loadouts to finish the rest of Super Metroid and get 1 more crystal. Actually 2. They can fake Flipper Ice, so they've got the loadouts to get 2 more crystals. So we're probably looking at like a high 2-hour, low 3-hour seed for both of these players.
Yeah, and both of these runners, all things considering, are pretty much neck and neck right now. Especially in terms of their equipment and their the order of checks here. I think literally the only difference right now is sword upgrades for between Bressingham and Nito. They both Bressingham has an extra sword, which is a safe bet. That's from oh my goodness. So that's the Mirror and Aqueduct. So that puts that Cane into play. So now we are literally just looking for flippers.
Oh, jeez. And those can be in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, they can be literally.
So someone in
any...
chat was suggesting flippers on Ether Tablet. You need Book to get Ether Tablet, and Book is behind flippers on the Lake Hylia Island, so we can't have that.
Yeah, literally the only check I think that is not in logic at this point, besides Showcase Showdown, is everything in Swamp, everything in Ice, and that's about it, actually.
We need a Flute or Space Jump. They're going to Sequence Break Lower Norfair if they don't find Flute, but we technically still can't go to the Mire area.
Okay. And Nito is electing to pick up that extra energy tank. So yeah, they're practically, literally besides missiles and 1 power bomb tank, they're practically identical in equipment here. And the sword, of course. And Niterific will get that mirror. There's no question on that one.
Yep.
We saw
go ahead.
We saw a right side sand pit check, and it didn't look to be of any significance, but we're going to see left side now. Which, yeah, these also have a tendency to troll runners. Not this time, though.
So with the number of remaining items, I would absolutely be doing Shack Tool here, given how late we are into the seed, but it's still skippable. Especially since you just found Mirror, that opens up a lot of non-Meridia progression. You know that gives you full Swamp, full TR.
Yeah,
Or sorry,
all
not full Swamp. We still don't have Flippers, but full TR and full Sequence Broken Mire.
indeed. But yeah, all things considering, the seed hasn't been too particularly trolly, I don't think. A little bit of back and forth, but nothing excessive, I don't
Yeah,
think.
I don't think it's actually been bad since the Agahnim Morph Ball. Everything else has been fine. Most areas have had at least one thing. You didn't have to go independent pod. It's been pretty straightforward from about the 30-minute mark onwards.
Yeah, I think you had to go to Village of Outcasts for Hammer, and while you're at it, clear Thieves Town Attic for Variosuit. And then you could nope right out of Thieves Town. Unless, of course, Flippers are on the green pendant and both of our runners are debating themselves. Because that is still entirely possible.
So, right, Brest didn't finish Thieves Town. So yeah, nobody's turned in the green pendant. Wow.
Yeah, there's been Nito didn't turn it in. Yeah, Bressingham never took out blind actually. So yeah, this could. There's still the potential for this to get really get like last minute trolly, but again, all things considering, the seed hasn't been too bad.
Usually when I make a bet on green pendant, I like to turn it in sooner rather than later to know if it was worth it. And in this case, we have to finish Eastern Palace, so it's right on the way to a crystal you're going to have to go to. If it were an isolated check, it wouldn't be as good, but pairing it up with Eastern seems fine.
Makes a lot of sense, and it looks like Nitorific is giving us a Shack Tool check, while Bressingham will be going to fry Draygon.
All right, get your Bless RNGs out for Shack Tool. And maybe
Yeah.
some Resident Sleepers.
Yeah, at this point, if you want to see some head scratchers here, you want to see either flippers or a fetch quest item. Which reminds me, we have not yet seen that shovel, have we?
Nope. But yeah, there's also, once you've seen and played enough seeds, you get to learn how the randomizer places items when it leaves you breadcrumbs and stuff. And it's been flagging things to us that like, oh, this leads to this, which leads to this, which leads to this. It's all been previewed. We've seen the red cane. We saw Gravity Suit come from our mitts, and Gravity Suit led to Mirror. Mirror leads to Cane. Like, TR seems like the play.
Yeah, the game is definitely baiting in that direction, unfortunately, for our runners. And it looks like both Shack Tool and Draygon were not the answer, although Draygon kill was required anyway. But the only thing we got out of Shack Tool, or we saw out of Shack Tool, I should say, was another plus 10 arrow cap upgrade. Which I think is there only one or two of those in the pool? Because I know plus 10 is rare.
I don't pay too much attention to those items. All right, so Bress is not doing plasma, which seems fine. Again, we have a decent number of items left. It's kind of like, if you're going to do Shack Tool Plasma, you're going to do them both because you're the kind of runner who wants to make those safety checks or gambles, depending on what you consider your position. And there are other runners who say, nah, too much time investment for a single item. I'm going to go where the numbers go.
Alright, looks like Bressingham has elected to go straight back into A Link to the Past. If I had to wager, he's probably following the mirror checks and then might be thinking about Turtle Rock.
Also, fun fact, now that we have a mirror, we finally have the vanilla save and quit point for Aga. The randomizer, in both cases, the combo and the regular rando, don't send you to the pyramid until you have mirror after killing Aga.
Smart play. Smart design choice. But yeah, it looks like Bressingham, I think he's going straight for Turtle Rock. He's going to get his
And-
Plasma Beam first, of course.
Yep. Now, given, I guess this works too. He could have gone to TR and then dashed over here. I'm not sure which one involves more transitions between the light and dark world to get that item. But this is fine either way.
Yeah, well, at least with Plasma Beam in tow, oh, that Dead Rock is not being nice.
Naderific was trying to Shine Spark down Draygon's HP there, but I think he missed. You have to hit the head. And now he's going for a grapple kill, but just gonna have to wait around. Did not get the quick grapple.
Yeah, so at this point, Bressingham is going to most likely open the door to Turtle Rock, go straight in, probably full clear it if it, or not.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to get his cane first, right, because you kind of need that to get past TR's front door.
Yes. Yes, you do.
But yeah, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, it is a hunt for the flippers. And they could be literally anywhere besides Swamp or Ice. You may want to consider mirroring quick, Bressingham. Yeah. Be hilarious if the explosions echoed through the mirror portal.
Wait, hang on. Where is he going?
Oh yeah, he's saving in. Oh, that might have been a reflex. Either reflexes or he's going to Ridley.
I mean, it's true that Turtle Rock is a pendant, and he might want to focus on going somewhere. Yeah. He wants to go to the required places. Kane is a crystal for him. It is, and Mirror gets some deserts. So he's got 2 crystals plus Ridley in this direction. Prioritizing the bosses first and hoping to pick up flippers on the way. Figuring Space Jump or Flute are in TR is totally a fine play.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, all things considered, especially since you're basically fully equipped, with the exception of Screw Attack, to zip right through this. Actually, Space Jump wouldn't hurt to have Space Jump either, but yeah, I think Bressingham's pretty comfortable with this current equipment setup.
Yep, he's got Gravity Jump to get through the Lava Dive, and then you can use Shine Spark to get past the breakable pillars. And then Space Jump doesn't help too much after Amphitheater.
With Draygon down for Nedorific, let's see how he decides to play this out. It looks like, is he heading to Plasma Beam right now? Looks like it.
Yeah. And again, I like both schools of thought. One way says there's not a lot of checks left in the game. We're getting to the point where Plasma is a decent bet. And it can also be a gamble, like, hey, I'm going to invest this low percent time to have a chance just to win on the spot. And even a runner who's ahead can say, well, I've got enough cushion. I can check Plasma Beam.
Yeah, and it is the gambles like this that can determine, between victory and between high place and maybe a few places behind. But Plasma Beam is not the answer.
Solsky, who's been on a number of these restreams before, he's one of the best runners in the community. He talks about plays like that in big group races as being not only better than in one-on-one, but also defensive plays, because he doesn't want to randomly lose to a runner he would normally beat just because that other runner happened to check Plasma for something goofy like a flippers.
Indeed. Now, thankfully, because again, Pack and Various, who keeps the environmental damage to a minimum here, Bressingham's going to have a lot of tries at this.
He doesn't need to pull back like that, I don't think. I think with high jump you can just go straight up and over. with the gravity jump. So straight up and over to the left, whereas without high jump, you need to loop back and wall jump underneath the Namahe.
I want to note a nice performance by Nidorific there, not taking off his gravity suit when getting past those roller snail thingies.
It's really not hard. It's just like cross product and Solski who think for some reason you have to take the suit off.
Yeah, it looks like just a couple of rapidly timed jumps did the trick, but it looks like Nidorific for now is following in Bressingham's footsteps. Let's see if he elects to dive TR or goes to follow him to Ridley.
He's doing the exact same thing. Plasma into the red cane, so it'll be like a minute and a half until we see the decision point. Also, he's memeing for us, picking up that sign while he had
Spin speed.
hook dash, yeah, hook speed. So Bressingham just did green gate glitch here to get over to the mire area. He'll be able to collect one GT item and scout the other one. This fight's super free with charged plasma. In fact, he's full energy because he just grabbed that E-tank, so if he doesn't take damage here by sitting in the safe spot... Oh, never mind. I was about to say the boss won't even give him any energy drops, but he took a hit.
Even still, it's as you said, with charged plasma this fight's free, so it doesn't really matter. Ammo isn't even an issue.
Yeah, I was mostly thinking of getting more super drops for Ridley, which is coming up, because even with full beam, supers are faster on Ridley since they do double damage.
True.
Russ was about to set up a Shine Spark, and I was like, wait a minute, I have to do Mire before I leave here.
Yeah, that might be a good idea, and it looks like it is a double Quake seed. Quake needed for both dungeons, so we had access to those as early as the Icon Pit.
Ooh, Nidorific. Looks like he's making the play.
All right, strap yourselves in, folks. We got a lot to cover here.
So it's not exactly 50-50, and there are scattered mirror and myths checks we haven't done, but there's a good 25% that the required progression is in TR. The question is it the direct progression, or is it some, indirect thing where it would send us down to Lower Norver anyways?
Well, in Bressingham's case, might be behind a fetch quest because he just picked up the powder in Meyer's shed and is electing to go pick up that butter sword on the desert ledge. So Bressingham's going to be all fitted for Ganon, literally everything: red mail, half magic, butter sword, silvers. Have you ever seen a fight more free besides 20 hearts?
The only reason I'm going to say not free is because I do know there are runners who, even with all the safeties, still struggle with Ganon. Round 2 can be just, if you're not well accustomed to the game, a little difficult.
Well, Nidorific just found the flute in Turtle Rock.
Oh, crud. So that means that it was probably flute in TR to go down to where Bress is right now to get flippers. So I'm gonna guess this will be lost time for Nito, unless he makes it up just by using the flute to navigate the map, like going to Eastern Palace.
Could also be that it could also be that flippers end up in Turtle Rock, which will pretty much, that's the one main thing that can save him at this point.
Yeah, he needs the double progression here, the redundant flute.
Now, one other thing that could help is if both runners will, I imagine if Nito doesn't find flippers, he'll pick up that powder in Meyer's shed. And it's going to depend on if both runners, who checks that too, because there could be flippers back there too. And
yeah,
powder
there are 4 items to get in Village of Outcasts now because of that powder. We go in, we got Hammer Peg, Smith Sequence, and Magic Bat. So there's a lot of reason to go. And Nidorific's got to activate the flute, so he'll probably clean that all up at once.
Oh yeah, you make a good point. We never, despite everything we have seen, we've not seen Smith or Purple Chest. So yeah, there is a lot to see here still. And we had a vanilla big key in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I don't mind a vanilla big key in Turtle Rock if we're full clearing anyways. It's when you're in go mode and the big key ends up there, that's a little annoying. Because then you have to blow a key and then probably end up doing the big chest too.
Now, I might be crazy here, but I feel like Bressingham just go moded desert and didn't check the right side. I don't remember if he saw what was on the torch, but if there was an item on the torch, but I think he went straight for Landmoles without checking the right side, despite the small key being in the big chest.
I mean, if you're betting on needing to do as little of the dungeon as possible because you're prioritizing the crystals, I think that's fine.
Oh, chat is saying that an item was on the torch, so yeah. What he did was he gambled right side, hoping that
the
second item would be on Landmoles. Yeah, hoping that the second item would be on Landmoles, and indeed, map and compass are both on the right side. So yeah, he could skip. He made the right call, so he's good.
That's good thinking ahead. And Meyer even has a god route. It's really uncommon, but with this loadout, if you get a big key on the upper right side chest in the room with the Stalfos and the spikes, then you can go immediately to the bridge, hookshot over the bridge to check for an item, whether or not it's, or if it's an item there and an item on Vitreous, then you don't need to do any of the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah, that would be great. Unfortunately, we are still looking for those flippers.
But yeah, I think because of that, the route that I mentioned, it's like, unless you can hover, it's most correct to check the item to the right of this first.
All right, we got a laser bridge check coming up here for Nidorific. And we also did not have a Godmire.
Yep, got one of the items so far. It was a missile.
Oh, that hard hat beetle is not in a friendly location.
Oh my god.
Wow. Nidorific with the super save right at the end.
So at, what is that? 2 hours, 14 minutes, 15 minutes we'll call it. Nidorific is in go mode.
Yeah, so with that, yeah, Nito has Mirror, Nito has Kane. He can just go straight and finish up here. He is probably going to grab that Tempered Sword off Desert Ledge too, so he'll be all safe with Tempered Sword, Silver Arrows, Ganon, and yeah, Turtle Rock, Pendant Turtle Rock.
That's, I mean, we did call it earlier, kind of, but also I was hoping it was just flute to down here. So Bress he's going to full clear this dungeon. He's going to full clear what's in Lower Norfair. That's not a lot of extra checks. The difference between go mode and full clear Lower Norfair is not much. But yeah, Nidorific's probably got a good 3 to 4 minute edge on him now.
Yeah, I would say at this point, given the fact that literally the only yeah, in both runners' cases, yeah, because Bressingham decided to take the extra time to check the stuff in on the way to Gold Torizo. Nito doesn't have to do that.
Yeah, Nito does have to do a lot of Mire. It was a vanilla big key, as we just saw, so he's going to have to check about 2/3 of it.
Yeah, but Nito will be able to just zip right through desert because I think the big key was in the map chest.
Yeah, and he can skip Mire Shed, he can skip Checkerboard Cave, he can skip Mickey Mouse Room, Peebs in Jail, Fire Fleazy Tank.
Yeah, as far as safeties are concerned, Nito is not concerned. I mean, both runners, I don't think are going to be too worried about safeties. They're both running 14 hearts, red mail. They've got now well over 8 energy tanks in Super Metroid. I think they're both, once, I don't think they're looking for anything at this point. Not even Screw Attack or Space Jump.
Yeah, so now we can talk about time. So Nidoриfic, he's got a lot of crystals left to do, but he's right at one of them, and then it can mirror into the other. Swamp Palace and Ice Palace are the two fastest dungeons to go mode versus full clear, like the difference between go mode and full clear. And then go up the mountain. God, what kind of time are we looking at? Maybe a 250 for Nidoриfic?
It's going to be a fairly solid very solid time overall, all things considering. But yeah, still, Flipper's in Laser Bridge, not a very nice location. So +1 to the trolling of the seed on top of Agahnim Morph Ball. But even still, this is gonna come out to be an ultimately pretty solid time.
Yeah, 5x. There's a lot of long things. He still has to go to Ridley and get out of Lower Norfair. He still has to do all of GT and Tori, and all that stuff does add up, plus all the transit time and things. So maybe 250. I'm gonna say 254. Let's lock that in. Nidoриfic's got a 254 coming.
We'll see. If you manage to hit it on the nose, I'll be pretty darn impressed, I'll say that much.
Oh, Breast, just go. You've already killed Golden Torizo. Just go back and get a short charge. I guess he felt confident enough in his infinite bomb jump.
I think this is actually slower, too, compared to short charging, unless
Oh,
he's
it
not comfortable.
definitely is. And he's gonna farm up maybe 2 farms of super missiles here.
Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, no, just going for it. Yeah, he's got that charged plasma to back him up.
Yeah,
He's super missiled 2 blue doors in a row, though, just pointing that out.
Oh my.
Our tracker, Cool Papa Bell, is asking in chat about an icebreaker. Is that a technique? I'm not familiar with it.
I'm not familiar with it either, to be honest. Oh my. Apparently it's an Ice Palace sequence break. I'd be curious to see that in action, but I'm not sure. To be fair, this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, since I've started playing these randomizers about a year and a half ago, there has been new tech discovered to skip items or to get between certain locations. The Moldorm, the one where you skip a big key in Hera basement to get up to Moldorm, is pretty new and is allowed. Ozzy's got that bow skip where you clip the mimics off the screen in GT. If you've got double pendant Eastern and Pod, that's allowed. What else? There's a Moldorm bomb jump to skip hookshot.
Yeah, that's another as I like to call Aussie patented trick.
Oh, wait, okay, is Nito just checking the middle here, or is he gonna go for the right chest too? Probably just the middle and then cutscene.
Yeah, because unfortunately that big key is vanilla, so...
So the big time loss for Bress with not going to Turtle Rock early isn't even as much the checks where he's doing these things on his way through Lower Norfair. It's the fact that he'll have to go up the mountain to Turtle Rock, come back down, and do Swamp Palace before he can go to Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, and although to be fair, Nidorific's got to do the same thing, but at the same time, it's an extra non-Death Mountain dip, if anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like Nito will be able to do like swamp right into ice if he wants to. He already has his flute activated, so he gets to a couple of these locations faster. He didn't have to go through the lava dive to get to LN. He was able to just flute down to Mire. Bress has used up all his supers so far, and Ridley needs just a couple shots of charged plasma here. Ridley's already a deep shade of pink and flying slowly, not quite ready to pick up for the kill though. Yeah, Ridley doesn't immediately die when she's dead, or he, or whatever. I think Ridley's dead now, though, given how slow that flight pattern was. Yeah, if you wait long enough, Ridley will explode on its own.
Yeah, I want to say it's... I actually remember... Oh, Nidorific was trying to do spooky action, but I think must have missed a prerequisite somewhere else.
Yeah, that's one of those like goofy, like arcane magic tricks I don't plan on learning.
Yeah. But going back on what you were saying earlier about Ridley and the grabbing, I actually remember, I don't remember if it was someone in chat or if it was a co-commentator who told me about this, but apparently the reason that grabbing, apparently the developers had intended initially for you to get grabbed by Ridley for the KO, but they were worried that if players wouldn't catch that, so they put in a failsafe where eventually Ridley does vaporize.
And we haven't had much drama to speak of with these Vitreous kills because both runners had silver arrows, and that's just, what, 9 arrows or 10 arrows or something like that if you don't miss a shot?
I think there's 9 arrows in the front and the eye, so I think it's 11.
Sure, so somewhere around there.
Don't quote me on that, though. I could maybe have just been blinking and missing.
Yeah, that's one of those fights where your loadout makes so much a difference. Vitreous without bow at all for starters, but then without certain safeties is like a very scary fight, whereas Vitreous with silvers or Vitreous with like cape is just trivial.
Alright, so it looks like Nidorific's next stop is to Eastern. I doubt we're going to see a green pendant turn in for maybe a hope for screw attack or space jump at this point. I think it's too far out of the way for Nidorific to consider, given that he's in go mode.
Yeah, this is he was already down at Mire, so he could have gone. Oh, space jump is that Peebs in jail. That's not getting picked up because they don't need it. I'm surprised Nito would leave the Mire area and have to do the extra flute transition when he could have just gone to LN right there.
It might be that Nidorific is just thinking to get all of Link to the Past out of the way, not bother doing any more transitions to Super Metroid, because after GT, after Ganon, he could just save and quit and then just finish Super Metroid. So no more game transitions, so no more rerouting for that reason.
But since he has to do LN plus get back to his ship, he's still going to need to go through portals to transition back to his ship. Yeah, I think the more logical rationale here is that he's actually looking for space jump. I don't know about screw attack. I think he'd be annoyed to get screw attack and have to menu it off at this point. But space jump, at the very least, he could run into in GT for all he knows, and that would speed up the rest of Super Metroid.
Yeah, that's what he's thinking. Because I think at this point the thing if anything, Screw Attack is probably chilling in GT at this rate.
To answer a question in chat, question in chat, flippers were at the end of Laser Bridge in Pendant Turtle Rock.
Yeah, not a very friendly location for those to end up, especially considering that they are at the end of a, pendant turtle rock again, as you said.
Yeah, so, Shades 1, Cheese Nader 0, he was right about the Pendant Dungeons today, but I'm just saying, there's nothing special about them.
Fair enough. Yeah, actually, thinking about it, yeah, Thieves Town and Turtle Rock both had progression since Various. It was in Thieves Town's attic, too, so... Yeah, the Pendant Dungeons almost did an Oops All Dungeon. See, the only dungeon we probably could have skipped out on was Pod. And even then,
Right.
Helmasaur probably only had that other sword.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So Nidorific quickly racking up crystals while Bress still on the hunt for the flippers. He's going to do these isolated mirror checks. He's coming all the way up to Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that, ironically, he didn't take the Turtle Rock bait.
I know, it's like when the cane is right next to TR and you're already on the mountain, it's a much lower investment play than usual.
Yeah, I've seen the Quake Medallion be a bait into Turtle Rock, but Turtle Rock end up being barren, so, I mean, you really never can tell when it comes to these randos.
Ooh, yeah, we're hearing the description of the icebreaker glitch in chat. That does sound really cool, being able to go through the Pengator room on the second floor and get, like, basically go backwards through the dungeon.
If it's through the wall...
Some interesting routes, and it would also let you skip hammer for checking one of the items.
If it lets you go through the wall, I would wager that falls in the same category as out of bounds.
Well, it sounds like it's through, maybe through the bricks, not necessarily the wall. I'm not sure what they're...
If it's the bricks,
the
maybe
implication
not
is.
so much, but yeah, I'd have to see it in action, that's all, at this point.
The thing is like, the Tower of Hera one, where you can skip the basement and thus possibly skip a fire source being required for the dungeon at all, that seems pretty big too, and yet they let that one in.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Because you're literally clipping through a physical object to get a screen transition.
I guess we'll just have to leave that one up to the pros.
The good thing is that, like, SMZ3, again, being an independently developed and run game, like, this community could decide its own rules. If there's a tournament coming up, they can say, hey, we want these glitches and we don't want these glitches, and it doesn't have to be tied to whatever the ALTTPR overlords say.
But yeah, blink and you miss it. Nidorific has already taken down Cold Stare. Yeah, with half magic Fire Rod and Tempered Sword slashes, that is an pretty solid fight if he can corner Cold Stare.
Bress is doing the whole Smith sequence and hammer pegs and magic bat, etc. even before that flute, so he's got to walk this chest all the way down to the man. I don't know what you call the man. The guy's just sitting there.
I think we call him Gary.
There we go.
We may actually...
He's in Cave 45 on the way, at least.
Yeah, we may actually see what I like to call the Phantom Chest glitch, where you leave the purple chest behind, at a certain like horizontal angle, horizontal pixel. And then, but if you mirror in front of Gary, you could still deliver the item, even though you're not carrying the chest with you. Apparently, it works all the way up to the beginning of the Dark Smith's house too. And I just learned this last week, or earlier this week, rather. More like late last
Well,
week.
looks like Bress is doing it right now because he left that chest behind.
So yeah, he's gonna get a phantom chest here. 3, 2, 1, got item. Except now he's stuck in Gary.
Oh, he got back. Phew. I've been literally stuck on Gary and had to reset before, and not only that, I didn't even have the hammer, so I wasn't able to come back here easily.
I've seen a case where I think ETM was heading in the direction of Gary. I don't think it was with the purple chest in tow, but he got hit by a spear, and for some reason he was just positioned right in the corner of a wall, in a way of the mountainside terrain, in a way that he got clipped inside of it, and he got stuck. And my joke for that was apparently Link Between Worlds debuted 25 years early.
Bress was just doing a fake flipper, I'm not sure why, to get to this point, and he got hit right as he transitioned through the whirlpool. But why was he going there? Did he have a mushroom to trade
Yes,
or
he
something?
did. The mushroom was in, I want to say, Mireshed.
Oh. Well, I think he's just going to finish SM now because he happened to have to reset here.
Yeah, I guess that you can't save and quit out of that.
Oh, wait. What are you doing, my man? Just finish. You're right there.
He's desperate to turn in that mushroom, I think. Yeah, Nidorific, meanwhile, is just going straight through Swamp. I don't think he even cares about Screw Attack at this point.
No, Screw Attack is a liability right now because you have to spend time menuing it off in order to do Zeb Skip.
Oh, right, yeah. I guess, oh yeah, even with Speed Booster, that you still can't use Screw Attack. Makes sense.
Yeah, and since he's got full loadout for Lower Norfair, he can hitbox his way through the Key Hunters, so Screw Attack's not an issue there. And using a Shine Spark through the pillars is probably faster if you do it correctly than using Space Screw. Oh, word spoken in chat mentions the down back version of Zeb Skip. That's true. Nidorific doesn't do down back as far as I know. He does know speed Zeb Skip. But I think most runners probably default to the easiest and most comfortable being the standard ice and space jump clip.
Oh,
Well,
and
but, you know.
it would appear that Bressingham has realized what's happened here and is heading to Turtle Rock. That was a great one cycle on Argus there, by the way, by Nidorific.
Yeah, Nidorific, he told me before he started running Combo Rando that he'd already played like 500 Link to the Past Rando seeds, so this was actually his stronger game. But then he drilled Super Metroid for the past year, and he played in tournaments. He was in the SM Rat tournament last year, I know. He's probably been in some others since then. So his Super Metroid execution's really caught up to his Link to the Past execution.
It definitely shows tonight, that's for sure. And Argus, interestingly, also had Spring Ball. So, I know Nidorific wasn't looking for any Super Metroid conveniences, but he picked up one more just to be safe. And also, now that actually, folks, get your guesses in chat because it looks like Nidorific is going to Ganon's Tower. So there are 22 chests in the basement of Ganon. Well, not chests, 22 locations in the basement of Ganon's Tower, 21 chests and 1 torch. So get your guesses between 1 and 22 where you think that big key is hiding. Any guesses from you, Cheese?
I think I've worn out on the guessing game. I haven't played it in a while.
Fair enough. I'm gonna guess, I don't see any, like, middle of the road, so I'm gonna go with 11.
See, what I'm waiting for is a seed with like a pendant dungeon that required bow or hookshot normally, but then one of those two items ends up in the big chest in the Ganon's Tower basement.
Oh my.
Hasn't happened yet, but I haven't played enough ALTTPR solo to see it.
Oh, you mean like if Pod and Eastern were pendants, but the bow was down in GT's big chest?
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure that's possible.
I mean, it can be in Ganon's Tower, and you don't need the bow or the hookshot to clear the basement, do you?
You don't need to clear the basement, at the very least, at least for the bow. But yeah, I'm not sure if the logic, expects you to be able to get all the equipment before GT.
So GT can have things that are only required for GT itself. You have to be able to get all 7 crystals with all, like, Super Metroid and Link to the Past prerequisites done already. So for example, you can't get, like, the charge being necessary to beat Ridley anywhere in Ganon's Tower. But Ganon's Tower itself, I believe, is all on the table. So in chat, Mercarist says that hookshot is required for left side. Okay, that makes sense. But you can get, if you get a big key all the way back on the right side somewhere, then you could walk over to the big chest.
Makes sense. Nothing of significant note in Ganon's Tower so far. Chest 6 has the Cane of Burna. That's about it so far. So we're at chest, we're coming up on 8 now. Ooh, Neaterific is going to Gamble Tile Room.
I've heard that some runners, just psychologically, they like to do tile room when the seed has been extra trolly to them. I don't know if I would call this one extra trolly, but he's going for it.
I would only call this one mildly trolly at best. Because yeah, the only 2 real hiccups we had were the Morph Ball and the Flippers, all things considering. I mean, and the fact, obviously, that you had to do Aga 1 anyways, but it was your Dark World access, too, because Hammer was in the Dark World. But anywho, let's see. Oh, that's funny. Screw attack and tile room.
Wow. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the speed you get going through the, like, pre-Ridley rooms with screw attack actually outweighs having to menu it off before Torian. Like, it's probably a net neutral.
Well, the other thing is it also makes the 3 Stooges and the 3 Musketeers completely free.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't know. You can hitbox them, or when you have enough energy, you can just damage boost through them. Alright,
Well,
so Neaterific. Let's see, hang on, let's see what route he takes. He's gonna grab this key here, but then he can either go full right or Modified Dark Magician. He's going Modified Dark Magician.
also, that was apparently the compass room full of missiles. I think 3 out of those chests in 9 through 12 were missiles.
So I would like to know the math on Modified Dark Magician versus regular. Regular, he would have continued and gone full right there. Modified is you come back to the left after that. And each one of them has different strengths in it, like which chests are you isolating. The fire bar, or like the fire snake room is the one that gets super isolated. Or maybe it's rando room. Yeah, rando room is the one that takes super long if you go full right there.
Well, unfortunately, we're not going to see the level of frustration on Bressingham's end because his stream froze.
Yeah, I think he's still online. He hasn't dropped out of IRC, so we just got a little stream lag there.
I'm just gonna guess that he immediately saved and quitted and head straight to is heading straight to Swamp now. Also, no sign of the big key, and we're going to Rando Room now. So this is chests, I believe, 14 to 17, I want to say. No, 15 to 19. No, 14 to 17. Sorry. So, because the other 4 is Bob's chest, and then the 3 behind our. Math is hard. Oh my, OMG. So yeah, it's chest
16 is what chat's
16.
saying.
Yeah, it is 16, which means our winner is nobody. Nobody guessed 16. We have.
No, we've got Zeruvian.
Oh. Oh yeah. I can't see. So yeah, Zeruvian, congratulations. And my apologies for completely missing that.
Where I was going with my last train of thought is that I believe there's a Link to the Past rando runner named Dark Magician or something, who invented that or coined that particular route, and it was supposed to be the fastest average time to Big Key, which is why I've started doing it. That could just be hearsay. I don't know if anyone's actually run the math on that.
Yeah, so looking at where we stand here, Nidourific just has to take down Gridley and then Mother Brain after GT. Bressingham, meanwhile, still has to finish up Swamp, Ice, and Eastern, but has killed Ridley. But I don't think, and given that Nidourific has Screw Attack, Norfair is going to be free now, so.
Yeah, Nito's got 5 minutes or so to his Ganon kill. Norfair is actually kind of slow. My prediction is going to be short. I think he's going to end up coming close to 3 hours, maybe even crossing it. I was a bit aggressive in how fast I thought he would do all the other dungeons, but he had a lot of crystals left. More than I'm used to there being left when someone hits go mode.
That is very true. Nidourific, I still think, had 5 crystals to get before he hit go mode. Yeah, because he had. I think actually, no, it was 4, because he did Eastern before picking up Flippers. I think. No, he did Eastern after. So he did Desert, Swamp, Ice, Mire, and Eastern after Flippers. So yeah, he had to do 5 crystals still. But yeah, at this point, I would say that it's probably Nito's race to lose, barring a disaster.
Yeah, that's just as far as the on-stream matchup we've got going here. We have no finishers yet in SRL chat, but you can bet on Ashdir to put up a competitive time. He'll probably be finishing within a few minutes, plus or minus of when Nidourific finishes.
Yeah, it really all just depends on who Galaxy Brain Turtle Rock.
I'm gonna go ahead and call that one Solar System Brain. There wasn't that much left, and you just had the logical trail to TR from the Red Cane.
Fair enough.
Galaxy Brain is like blind pulling Pedestal or something.
Yeah, to answer a question in chat, we think Bressingham's Butter Sword was from Helmasaur and Pod. Nidourific did not check Pod, but Bressingham also joined us an hour and a half late due to another runner deciding to bow out earlier due to some unfortunate circumstances in Rex ship. And IRL. Decided to come creeping up.
Yeah, we've really had like 2 different restreams going almost tonight. There was the early game where we were commentating on all the drama between Outrageous and Nidourific, and it's been this mid to late game push here with Bressingham and Nidourific. Ooh, gets blue balled and just goes in for a rage punch to Agahnim there because he got a 0 around. Follows it up with a triple though.
Yeah, Agahnim being a little bit kind of middle of the road in terms of cooperation on that one. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time to face the big pig.
At the very least, I like the fact that these runners are both on low 3-hour pace, and there are only 2 of them, so we'll be out of the casting booth earlier than some of these combo rando runs can go.
Yeah, we have had some long ones lately. Apparently you can't hum while holding your nose closed. How many of you in chat are trying right now? Be honest.
I think I honestly just saw him say that in the last seed that I watched.
Yeah, my favorite is CDI Ganon. Because then I can try impersonating it. Join me, hero, and I will make your face the greatest in the Dark World. Or else you will die.
I must admit I've had the pleasure of never seeing any of the CDI cutscenes.
Fair enough, you're not missing much.
And Nidorefic is just cooking his way through this Ganon fight, no trouble at all.
Yeah, Ganon's asking about some arrows in Brinstar. We've had those for like 2.5 hours, and we'd really like to just get them off our chest, so here you go, we'll put them on your chest instead. Quite literally in Nidorific's case. But with that, get a single G in chat for Nidorific, as that is bacon for him, and it's down to Ridley and then the big brain.
Yeah, Mother Brain is the real big brain play if you think about it.
At first I wondered why Nidorific isn't just saving and quitting right now, but then I realized, oh, right, Ridley.
Alright, now let's see if he goes for the... Oh, he hasn't actually done the Golden Teresa fight, so he'll need to kill that before he would be able to short charge. So he's gonna opt for the yeah, he's gonna opt for the Morph Ball Bomb climb instead.
Wrong bomb there, champ. Now here's something I'm noticing. For some reason Nidorific turned on his Ice Beam, but not his Plasma Beam.
So, oh, he's going for a Spring Ball jump. Okay. I think he might just be showing off because he's on stream, because we could, like, already have killed Golden Teresa and been up this shaft.
It might be. I know a lot of runners like to meme when they have the chance. I know Aussie and Solsky both love to do that.
Oh, yeah. And when I'm on Restream, I'll do things for the fans. I go through Forgotten Highway a lot on stream when I don't do it off stream.
Nidorific is unfortunately laying his bomb too late there. Still hasn't turned on his Plasma Beam despite all those trips to the menu. I'm wondering if he's just deliberately waiting on it because he's trying to do something, or... Oh, there he goes.
Hey! Nice Spring Ball jump.
And see, that's what happens when you realize you haven't turned on your Plasma Beam. And it looks like he's just going to grab a couple extra supers, but yeah, now with Screw Attack, he's just going to zip right on through here. Nice Shine Spark, though. Alright, meanwhile, Bressingham is on his last crystal, about to zip on through Eastern to fight the Armos Knights.
Nito having a little bit of trouble with this wall jump. Finally got it on his 4th try.
Yeah, this is still worst room in the game, especially without Space Jump.
This is one of those cruel lore and fairs where one of the items that would have made it easier is after the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
This isn't dangerous now. He's not taking damage that fast and he has a gravity suit, but I'm a little surprised at how his movement has been in the last couple of rooms here. Given how smooth it was for the previous few stretches of the game.
Yeah, it might just be that he's just trying to book it right now. That
Yeah.
he sees that there are still, as far as I'm looking, yeah, there are still no finishers. So he's probably really pushing it to try and see if he can actually like place at a extremely respectable position here.
I mean, I think he can get first and worst second. Like, he was already doing well, and he got an early go mode thanks to the TR dip.
Yeah, actually, all things considering, or I should say, Nidourific's routing. Sorry, Nidourific's routing has been pretty phenomenal this seed. All things considering, deciding to risk wreck ship early has ended up really paying off. Just getting all the things you need to finish up Link to the Past, or to do a bunch of Link to the Past, but without isolating Total Rock. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And nice clear on those pirates there. He's got a million different ways to beat them. He went with the hitbox plus Shine Echo's kill, which you see in any percent.
Yeah. I mean, alternatively, he could have done super missiles to the back. He could have done microwave. The options are there, absolutely.
Yeah, even just a full beam combo, if you shoot it through them at the right angle, will one-shot them.
Unfortunately, Ridley being a little uncooperative until right now with his pogo stick tail.
So, Nidourific is at the Ridley fight. He's going to have to finish this and escape Lower Norfair and then be able to reset to his ship. Depends which direction Brest goes here in GT. If he goes full left, he saves some time. Or like, maybe, yeah, right 2 chests into full left. Nidourific still maintains about a 4-minute lead over him, like I said earlier.
I'm going to giggle if Bressingham is deciding to gamble tile room right now.
Oh my god. Oh no, he's going right because he got a
Yeah.
small key, which is another common thing runners do, but it is unfortunate because it delays this big key.
And it delays his big key and it won't give him screw attack, which granted, Bressingham's probably not looking for anyway. So.
Yeah, I think honestly the first like 6 months I played this game, the meta was to check the 2 on the right side and then go full left. And then I started seeing more like Maniacal, and I think Solsky was following him, started doing the, oh, I'll go right if I get a small key here. And that kind of caught on.
So yeah, Bressingham getting his full reload of missiles out of the compass room.
Nito gives us a little short hop mock ball there, which is another any percent strat. Is this faster to go to back route this? He doesn't have space jump. I guess it doesn't matter that much.
This is...
It's not that it's risky. I'm just wondering if it's faster to get to this portal than to go back through upper and go to business center. I would have to time it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You do this when you have difficult Mire access and you still need to go back to Mire for something. Like if you get Red Cane after Ridley.
I'm actually, this is actually the first time I'm seeing this route, to be perfectly honest, although he's got to be kind of careful now.
No, he's fine. He's got Crystal Flash, even if he got into a sticky situation.
Okay, yeah, he's through.
And of course, it depends how long it takes you to hit Gate Glitch. only 3 tries.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
So he gets to go through the portal and then just reset to ship. This was pretty fast. I'm gonna... Oh, and even a free
That's
refill.
why he went back. I bet you it's
Um,
because he knew that tank was there.
He doesn't need the tank, though. He's already got more than enough for stand-up glitch, so I think it was just the route. I think it was just, like, probably 30 seconds plus faster to get here than go to Business Center.
It certainly feels like it, because, yeah, going this way, you don't have to deal with either of the Three Musketeers or the Three Stooges. But you also have to take the damage going through Amphitheater, rather.
Yeah, I'd have to count the door transitions, because those are the thing that add up. Alright, so Nidorific on his way to Torian while Brest begins his climb up to the top of GT. Now we can really easily place their times, and Brest actually probably has 5 or 6 minutes left in Link to the Past, and with Nidorific already and Torian, yeah, so we'll probably have a 5 or 6 minute difference. Even still, if this were a 1v1, which it's not, there have been 11 runners, 2 forfeits, this would be a pretty close match. Like, you'd be excited to call a 3-hour race that had people both in the endgame at the same time, but it's not going to be close enough to have like a showstopper finish.
Yeah, but even still, both of our runners here tonight have put on a fantastic show, especially given some of the execution we've been seeing going through Norfair and Meridia. So yeah, as we're kind of winding down here, folks, don't forget, if you haven't already, to give both of these runners a follow. And if you can, check out the off-stream runners as well and give those guys follows too, because they're putting on fantastic shows for you here.
Oh, it looks like the exclamation point R command is not, probably because we switched runners halfway through stream. It's not putting out their Twitch IDs.
Alright, let's see if we can get a baby skip from Nidorific.
Nah,
Nope.
he gave up halfway.
But at least he remembered to face right. Saves you a couple frames.
And that's what they say, save the frames and kill the animals. But only because it's an SRL race.
Yeah, it's okay. This is SRL. We don't discuss canon anyway. That's more of an AGDQ thing.
Nothing, other than that, the baby skip missed nothing. Oh, actually, I was about to say nothing too eventful in this late game, but we got Nidorific showing off the speed Zeb skip. So he didn't need to menu off screw attack at all. He doesn't care. He is very much like a honey badger.
Yep. Although, not the best super missile count going into this, but I don't think he's got to worry too much.
Oh no, he doesn't need supers at all. 20 charged plasma shots is faster than using supers.
I thought Bressingham was memeing for a second because I thought it was going to hover the Moldorm 2 gap, but I think he used hookshot to get across.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he knows how to hover. Hovering is, we talk about it a lot, but it's actually rare enough that you can like name on one hand how many people in combo rando can hover. It's like, or at least who can hover and will do it in a race. I've seen Azure, Solsky, and Andy do it, and not a lot of else. Meteorific's going for the stand-up glitch here. You need to be hit down from 7 energy tanks exactly by Mother Brain, then damage yourself down very quickly, such that Mother Brain goes into the mode where she's trying to finish you off as though you were on the floor. Then the baby comes in, and you just have to be in the air when baby arrives.
I was honestly a little concerned for a second because I noticed Nino still had like 4 energy tanks left, and I was like, is he going to be able to damage down fast enough? But I guess I stand
Yeah,
corrected.
that's
And so
normal
does
for
he.
having Various Suit on. If you have Various Suit off, you'll go down to 1 E-Tank.
And I stand corrected, and Nidorific is actually standing, so it makes sense.
And then he's just going to use as many charge shots as he can here. These are doing 900. The Hyper Beam that he would get in Phase 3 does 990. So he's trying to reduce that number of Hyper Beam shots down from 36 or whatever it is to probably just 2 or 3, depending on how well he executes here.
I think it's 30. I think Mother Brain has 3,800 in Phase 3. It's either 38 or 36. You're probably right either way. He does have to make sure there's not a beam on screen, though. Otherwise, when he switches to Hyper Beam, otherwise the game is not going to be happy.
Yeah, it'll basically what ends up happening is it slows down substantially, and you get like 1 frame at a time of the beam advancing. So if you're really close to Mother Brain's face when you release it, it's not too bad. Otherwise, you just have to sit there and wait.
And it looks like it was a 7-beam finale there for Nidorific, so he was able to take out a solid 75% of her health. Even more, actually, about 80. But nonetheless, it is just a less than 3-minute long sprint to the ship, and that will be GG for Nidorific.
Yeah, he's gonna get his GG just a little bit after Bressingham gets his single G, which is right now. Nidorific could still Leodox, he could still die, don't give him your GGs yet.
But do give Bressingham your single G. Gets the vertical shine spark to clear the shaft. And this one is going to wind down, ladies and gentlemen. Get your GGs in chat for Nidorific. He is going to finish first place amongst our restream, and this is going to be first place overall, ladies and gentlemen, with an official SRL time of 3:05:08.
GG. So now we've got Bressingham entering Torian. Nidorific's elevator, someone pointed out in chat, was 257.
Yeah,
So this is, yeah, an 8-minute gap or so.
yeah, very well played by Nidorific. His only real execution hiccup, as Cool Papa Bell mentioned, really was having to double dip the gauntlet. Credits for his tenacity on that one, though. It did end up working out for the Moon Pearl.
Let's see if we can get the audio switched here for the. Actually, we can't. Bressingham
Yeah.
does not have clean audio tonight, yeah, so we'll just have to call it the rest of the way.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate, although Bressingham did come onto our restream kind of short notice, so understandable given the circumstances.
People are saying Discord's acting up. I don't know if that's like a Discord-wide problem or just for Neaterific here. He's trying to come in for an interview. All right, he's set up at the position for the baby skip. He's moonwalked all the way to the right side of the room. Got the first jump, second, third. Looking good so far. Fourth. Oh, got grabbed at the fifth jump.
And we are now joined up in the booth by Neaterific. Neaterific, GG, and congratulations on getting first overall.
Thanks. I wasn't expecting that after failing Alcatraz 12 times in a row.
Yeah, I think everyone gets a little bit of time to mess up their execution in small ways in combo rando because there's so much of the seed left that it kind of washes out.
Yeah, and having to do Gauntlet 3 times. And I don't know. Routing was okay, actually. I'm not mad about my routing, but execution needed a lot of work.
You got a lot of other tricks though to make up for it. We were complimenting your mock balls and short charges and stuff on stream here.
Oh yeah, that went well too. Okay, so it wasn't so bad.
Yeah, all things considering, your routing was phenomenal, given what we know, because you elected to go to Rex ship fairly early, and that gave you your hook shot and your bow on top of the Phantoon takedown. And another big plus for you is as soon as you got all the keys, you went straight for Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, Laser Bridge is always a troll, especially if it's a pendant Turtle Rock. I almost mirrored out. When I found the flute, I almost mirrored out thinking, well, flute is my lower north for access, then I'm going to find flippers behind Ridley or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh no, he found flute, like, it's a sign. But then you ended up, and with Space Jump in lower Norfair, that was your logical access, yes, but it also wasn't a breadcrumb for the progression.
So, where was Space Jump?
Space Jump? Go ahead, Cheese. You were.
I was gonna say it was in Peebs in jail.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it was not in logic because if it's in lower Norfair, then you're supposed to have another means of access, and in normal logic, it's only regular bombs. Does a short charge from gold to Rizzo count in normal logic?
No. Yeah, okay. You have to have Space Jump or Morph Ball Bombs to finish a seed in normal logic.
All right.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Looks like Bress is also going for the stand-up here on Mother Brain. That's probably the last thing of note. Hopefully he doesn't soft lock or whatever, and should be a clean finish.
I'm pretty happy about Flipper Go mode then, because you get to go mode both Swamp and Ice Palace.
Yeah, you actually had, was it 5 crystals remaining when you were wrapping up, when you were in Go mode? You had to do Eastern, Desert, Swamp, Ice, and Mire?
Yeah, I had Hera and Skull was done.
Right.
Else. I only completed Thieves Town because, I don't know, Green Pendant, but I never turned it in.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
We didn't see it either from Bressingham, because Bressingham noped out as soon as he picked up Variasuit. He actually double dipped Thieves Town. Since he joined the race, we kind of had to the restream rather late. We kind of had to guess where he got his equipment from. So we suspect that he got Hammer, noped out of Thieves, and the first 4 of Thieves Town, noped out, finished Pod where he got his butter sword. We think he got his butter sword. That's where the 4th sword we think is. Then did Tower of Hera, and that's pretty much when we caught up to him, was when he was in Tower of Hera.
So the only big bust I had was Pod, and I guess Shack Jewel, and Plasma Room. But since I was on Restream, I always do these fringe checks in case they pay off big.
Oh, interesting. So it was
Uh-oh.
being on the restream that.
Oh,
Oh,
Bressingham
no.
just reset. Oh, does a
Yeah, I
beam
think he
collide
had
and
a
crash?
beam shot. I don't know. He might have gotten in the hard lock situation. I thought it was just
It looked
a
like,
thing where you have to wait for the beam to finish.
because it looks like the beam collided right as the it looked like part of Mother Brain unloaded.
Yeah, that was really weird.
Ooh, that's a big oof, because that's gonna set him back about 7.5 minutes.
Right, he was on pace for second place there probably, and with a full Torian to redo, he'll probably lose to, I don't know, one or two other runners.
Oh, interestingly enough, there has been no second place finish, and Astor actually forfeited the race after Nidorific finished. He must have not gone to Total Rock if I had to hazard a guess.
Yeah, a bit of a caster curse for me on Breast there. I was like, should be a clean finish as long as he doesn't lock, and then he did. So sorry if you listen to this later.
I mean, that's usually stuff that I call and that ends up happening, but yeah, that's very unfortunate. So yeah, Nito, tell me what was going through your mind when you were going through on your way out of Lower Norfair. We're curious as to know why you went back to the GT portal rather than go up to Business Center.
It's slightly faster, assuming you do it fast enough.
Yeah, we saw
that's
you.
what I was thinking.
That's what we figured, because yeah, we saw you taking the acid bath in Cathedral for a bit, and I was like, is this gonna end up working? But apparently it does. So I learned something new today.
And I would have hesitated with the amount of supers I had remaining in energy tank, but I scouted the energy tank, so it saved me a refill at the ship, a very long refill at the ship.
Yeah, that's the other reason why I suspected you went that way, because I know you saw the energy tank before leaving.
The worst part is I was almost to the point of removing spring wall jumps off my save state rotation for practice because I nail it all the time, and it took me like 10 attempts this time.
Yeah, with the extra menus and stuff, but like even given all that, you've still destroyed the run. Like nobody else has finished yet, and it's been what, almost 10 minutes since you got done. So the Turtle Rock play clearly was not on anyone else's menu.
Either the Turtle Rock play, or maybe somebody skipped the bow and wrecked ship. I don't know.
Though it was disappointing, it led to nothing except completion.
Yeah, that's a good point, because Eastern was full. You got all the items in Eastern early. The only thing Helmasaur had was a sword, as far as we think. So.
By the way, gotta compliment Bressingham for getting the baby skip on the second go around. Made his second Torian a little faster, and there's still no second place finisher, so he's alive.
Oh, actually, Cool Papa Bell, our tracker, makes a good point. It's very possible runners noped out after Flute, which you were saying earlier may have actually just been somebody's fate, just not anyone we saw on screen.
The second thing going through my head after finding Flute is, if there's something on Laser Bridge, then I'm the last locating it, so I'll waste the 2 minutes to check it.
Good move.
So I wonder if Breast goes for the stand-up again, because it is technically faster than not doing it, or if he becomes paranoid from that hard lock and decides to just take the damage and sit there.
I would wager he'll probably attempt it again, but just wait a lot longer, wait a lot earlier before switching to Hyper Beam. Because when it comes to something like that, it's just a matter of waiting an extra second or two.
Yeah, don't be greedy. If no one is done yet.
So Nito, there's a different story here on the restream versus on how you experienced it, because for us we saw this like pre-Aga phase where it was you versus Alraidris and all these different items were showing up in Brinstar and stuff, and we were like, when are they going to Aga, why are they doing wreck ship, etc. And then he had to forfeit because he had some stuff going on. We got Bressingham in like 20 minutes later, and suddenly it was like this Dark World showdown where the two of you were really close. Like you were within, a minute or two and a couple checks of each other for most of the game until the Turtle Rock decision.
I was pretty much full clearing for a while, so yeah, I wasn't really expecting to be ahead of anyone until late. I thought when I found flippers, I thought, yeah, okay, I might win because of this.
Also, I love this little spring ball, more fun, more bouncy bounce that Bress is doing.
Yeah, he's having some fun with the folks at home at this point, I think. And again, there is still no second place finisher here.
I do wonder, so Bress, did he have anything else besides Turtle Rock he could have even done once it was time to look for flippers? Because I'm wondering what else someone could have done that would put off Turtle Rock.
Turn in the Not again. Not again.
Oh no, my man, what are you doing?
The greed.
The baby.
Oh god.
For those who don't know what just happened, the baby Metroid got stuck on the top there. If that happens, that's a soft lock.
It happens when the baby is done healing you, it stops moving. So if you're in the ceiling, it stays on the ceiling.
Yeah, he was jumping too high. He had this like pattern where he would charge his beam, jump up over Mother Brain's head, come down and release his shot, but that ended up being too dangerous in that last section there where Mother Brain is attacking.
I'll give him props for tenacity that he's still electing to see this through to the end.
I mean, so our tracker, Cool Papa Ball, by the way, thank our tracker for doing a great job this seed, is suggesting in chat to take the safety save. And I think after the first failure, if you're attempting it again, absolutely. But like the first time through, like no question, this is probably a greater than 95%, if not like 98% trick. You don't expect to mess it up, but it could be another nerves thing where, he's been trying to get second place and is just only thinking about that and maybe messing up a little bit on his execution. Okay, but I think what you were saying earlier, that the two of you about the positions for some of the items, the biggest troll is probably if you skip the top of wreck ship or something, or put it off until really late and end up finding. Wait, hang on. Fire Rod's up there though.
Yeah.
You have to get the Fire Rod to even get to that part of Turtle Rock for the flippers. There's no way anyone is full clearing swamp for go mode, right?
I don't think so. No, because yeah, you're absolutely right. Because the Fire Rod wasn't just in top wreck ship; it was in wreck ship reserve.
Yeah, but you couldn't get to Laser Bridge without the Fire Rod.
Exactly.
So what else? I'm just trying to construct something. What missable in the seed? There were enough swords, so it's not like you needed the sword from Waterway.
Yeah, no, swords were absolutely free, because you could have gotten the one in Sahasra's closet and then later Desert Ledge. The tablets weren't of any use, so both couldn't have been the answer.
Were there any ways to sequence break Dark World access? Probably not easily. Where was Gravity? Was in Thieves Town? Yeah.
Gravity and well, no, Gravity Suit was in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, Hookshot.
Varia Suit was in Thieves Town.
Hammer was in Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, I don't think
Hammer locked.
Yeah, I don't think it was possible. Yeah, where was the first glove? The first glove was in Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yes.
I think all that says is that like this was a pretty linear seed at most of the decision points. You didn't have too many ways you could zig where someone else zagged, other than like Turtle Rock versus West Dark World with the mitts, or what was it? The Wreck Ship versus Aga play.
Yeah, I can imagine folks putting off Wreck Ship a little bit just because it didn't have the items you need for Aga. So I can imagine people taking the Aga bait earlier, as soon as they got the cape, perhaps. Because if that's the case, they would have had to wait a bit on their hook shot at fire rods and bow. Although granted, East Death Mountain was surprisingly barren besides the shovel. And even then, I think that was just a hard piece, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Death Mountain didn't have anything. Neither did. I mean, it was only a Hookshot Cave that had anything.
Right, yeah. The only thing that was decent on Death Mountain were those early power bombs, which nobody could seem to find for the first 25 minutes. And Plasma Beam, which was mirror locked.
Yeah, your trip up Death Mountain in the very early game actually ended up making your Brinstar clear much more efficient than Alraidris's.
Yeah, his first power bomb pack was actually in the back of the it was in the back of Brinstar Reserve.
It was the first logical pack, I think. What did Bomb Torizo have? He didn't have a pack. No.
No, it had something trashy. I want to say it was money.
Yeah, so the reason I sequence broke Death Mountain, even if there were only 2 checks, I didn't have any bombs, and I hate going to Super Metroid with no bombs. So I checked it, and hey, there's a free pack. I also checked high jump boots in case there was another pack there. It's a quick 3 check.
I think both 2 other people in chat and I just answered a question at the same time. Literally the exact same frame.
All right, so Bress is not going for stand-up this time. Totally understandable. And yeah, for the people out there who might watch this on YouTube later when the VOD is archived, the question in chat was, do you have to beat Mother Brain or both games? It's both games. We've already seen Ganon defeated, so Mother Brain is our final boss.
Yeah, it doesn't. The only thing that impacts the end of the game, depending on which is your second boss, is how the first boss wraps up. If you defeat Ganon first, you just appear on the top of the pyramid, and you can continue and go to Super Metroid. Oh,
Wow.
now I'm seeing this. Nope. Apparently,
Wow.
X-Ray Scope circumvents that.
Okay,
Yep.
so he didn't take the safety save as far as I know. So 3rd time's a charm. You'd better get this right, because Apathy Duck finished since pressing ham between tries 2 and 3.
Don't jump so high.
Actually, wait, Apathy did a dot undone, so he's not actually done yet.
Yeah, I don't see his time on the entrance list. That's usually what I go by.
Whew, that was close again, but
Yeah, he's looking good now. Well, I say that, and
Oh yeah, Apathy Duck is done now.
so,
there we go.
in case people watching
Alright,
are
no more
are
ways to
unaware.
soft lock, I'm pretty sure.
You can if you no, right, no, you're right.
Don't jinx it.
Stand up is not that hard. It's just a few do's and a lot of don'ts, and it's so tempting to be greedy, and you get punished hard if you go for greed and you fail.
But yeah, right now we've got Apathy Duck finishing in second place with his official SRL time of 3:25:52. So that was 25 and a half minutes later. Or sorry, not 25, 20 and a half minutes later.
Yeah, there's no award for margin of victory in SRL finishes, but that is very impressive to beat everyone else in a big combo rando race by 20 minutes.
have a feeling that Ezra was not very far behind. He just didn't want to finish. I don't blame him. I mean, if you bailed out of Turtle Rock after Blue, then yeah.
Come on, Bress, you can do it. I don't think is there lava that comes up through this room if you wait long enough, or no?
I don't think so.
Okay. Love acid.
But yeah, with that, get your GGs, hopefully. Get your GGs in chat for Bressingham, who finishes in 3rd place overall, 2nd place on our restream with an official SRL time of 3:27:15.
GG. Though I must say, with the 2 stand-up fails, he extended the broadcast time by like 20 minutes. This has been a interesting one to play tonight. Just all the kinds of things were different. We had 2 restreamed runners instead of 4. We had a swap halfway. We had an Aga required Agahnim morph ball seed with flippers and TR. So, you know, I don't know if you call this typical. I think you expect chaos from this randomizer, and we got some chaos tonight.
Aga was required twice. Once for Dark World access, and again for the mids.
Yeah, that was not that was an Aga heavy seed, but after that, not too bad. Besides, having to go to dive Laser Bridge for the flippers.
Bress is in the chat. Are you coming in for an audio interview or no?
And yeah, we see the lol oops. That was a bit unfortunate with those 2 stand-up hiccups.
And if you wanted Ice Beam, you needed to do Ice Cave too. Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah, that was pretty, that was appropriate. Ice Beam and Ice Rod Cave.
And Ancient Gamer just came in 3 minutes here behind Bress with a 3:30:08. That's good for 4th place.
And we are now joined in the booth by Bressingham. Bressingham, GG.
GG, thanks.
Woohoo! Welcome and GG.
Thank you.
This was a fun one to cast for sure. Had a lot going on for us especially.
Nice.
So, can you do us a favor and take us through the first hour of your seat? Because we had to bring you in late since
so
our Reachers had to bail out.
When did you guys start seeing me? Was it like Palace Darkness?
We came to you actually while you were in Tower of Hera.
Okay, so I found Morph early at Agahnim, then I did Brinstar and Wrecked Ship, and can't remember. Came after that. Then I went to Aga. I had the hook shot. I didn't do Thieves at first. I did everything else but the back of Thieves before I found Varia. Cleared pod, and then I did all the various stuff. And trying to remember. Yeah, that was around you guys saw me, but I was feeling behind then because I did pod and there's nothing there but a sword.
Oh, so Helmasaur did have the 4th sword.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
we had to piece that one together backwards by figuring out what you did that Nidorific didn't, because that was the big difference between you two the whole run was the sword.
Ah.
Up until the Turtle Rock diversion, Nidourific dived Turtle Rock pretty much as soon as he saw the cane and got the mirror.
Yeah, it was a smart call. I don't know. I guess I was trying to go to Lower Norfair, do Mire and Desert because I knew I could. But then I really should have just done Turtle Rock straight after. Yeah.
I mean, so from the point you did it, you decided to prioritize the crystals and the boss, which was totally fine. All right, until we saw the flippers, we had no idea which was the best play. And the full clear of, say, Lower Norfair isn't that bad compared to go moding it. It just then you had the choice between the 4 items at Hammer Pegs, Smith Sequence, and Magic Bat versus the 6 items in TR.
Yeah.
So like that, you can't really say you should have gone to TR. They're both about the same items per time.
I think it was fine. I knew that mirror would unlock Flute or Space Jump, which it did. Flute was in TR. And I basically just decided I'm going to do Lower Norfair, Mire, and Desert before I go follow the mirror. And then, because I was feeling behind because I did pod, I tried to cut myself some time by not diving TR. But that was definitely the furthest in the sea that you could have gone at that point. So it was a good call for Nito to go in.
Yeah, he also did pod. That was the first thing he did in the Dark World, but without Hammer.
Cool.
I didn't
So-
have Hammer yet. Never finished it.
Oh, yeah.
Also, neither of you turned in the green pendant, which was just interesting because that's usually something you see done. But then Nito ended up being in go mode before he went back to Eastern, so there was no opportunity to turn it in.
Yeah.
All right, so Burstingham, I want you to guess this because Nito picked it up. Do you want to know what was in GT's tile room?
Screw tag?
Yep.
Nice. Just time to turn it off, right?
Nope.
No.
He hadn't done
said
Ridley
skip.
yet.
Oh,
Nice.
well, that's perfect. That's a nice little pickup then.
I was hesitating between gravity jumping into Lower Norfair and during Turtle Rock, and what made me favor Turtle Rock more was that I didn't really have good mobility for Lower Norfair, like no space jump, no screw attack. I was like, yeah, I'll check Turtle Rock first.
Yeah, I think that was a good call.
You weren't going to either, considering Space Jump was in jailed power bombs.
Yeah, we were postulating about that on stream. Like, what is Nidourific's reason for fluting away from Mire? Because once you finished Mire, you usually just walk into the portal and go through, but you put it off until after GT because, like you said, you wanted those items.
Yeah, I was expecting the space jump and screw attack somewhere in GTT, which would have made Lower Norfair much faster. And
Yeah.
there was nothing possible that could have made my Link to the Past faster in Lower Norfair, except maybe the fourth sword. But even then, just picking it up wastes as much time as it saves for Ganon. I won cycle phase 1 and phase 2 Ganon, so really Gold Sword would have done nothing.
All right, so we've been going for a while here. Anyone have final thoughts as we wrap up?
Nope.
Another wonderful Miss Metroid seed.
A classic.
All right. Well, if that's it, I guess we're going to be wrapping things up, folks. If you are looking for more speed gaming action tomorrow, I guess, or technically today if it's already past midnight in your neck of the woods, we will have our next A Link to the Past randomizer league race starting at 2:10 p.m. That is Eastern Daylight Time, as US has switched over to Daylight Savings Time. So that's UTC -4, if that at all helps. We have a race between the Forfeiters Are Us and Hyrule Track and Field. Humbug versus Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna. That is, again, at 2:10 p.m. on Tuesday afternoon, Eastern Time. We have a bunch of other league races going on that afternoon, going all the way to 9:40 p.m. So Yeah, folks, there is a lot of Link to the Past randomizer on queue. We on the SMZ3 front will be back for you on Sunday afternoon, hopefully, with a 3 p.m. Normal logic race, and we hope to see you then.
Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a wonderful night, and you can catch the weekly SMZ3 races at Sundays 3 Eastern Daylight Time and Mondays 9 Eastern Daylight Time. We'll be back with a normal on Sunday and a hard on Monday night, and we occasionally switch it up by doing spoiler log races and multi-worlds, so check in for those.
And one other thing before we wrap up is a big shout out to Cool Papa Bell 2282 who came in kind of last minute to help us track tonight's race. So we very much appreciate your company this evening. You helped us out a big time, my friend. And Cheesenator, always a pleasure calming with you.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, Captain.
And with that said, we will wish you a good night, and we will see you next mission.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.